in charge. Carl's geeking out, his knowledge large. Ryan's dropping facts like a game pro. On Party Chat, we'll steal the show. Plug in your headphones, feel the beat. Talking games with passion can't be beat. From launch parties to quests untold, Party Chat's the place to be, we're bold.
Favorite games of all time, pixelated worlds and icy climbs, controllers and joysticks we adore. Level up with us, there's so much more. Plug in your headphones, feel the beat. Talking games with passion can't be beat. From launch parties to quests untold, Party Chat's the place to be, we're bold.
Well, good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another episode of Party Chat. And we got our long-lost co-host back and returning with us tonight. So good to have you back. Carl, how you doing tonight?
The news of my demise has been greatly over-exaggerated.
That is good to hear. However, Ryan has died, and he is not joining us tonight because he forgot, even though I reminded him like 2 weeks ago. So shame on him. But we got another person, friend of ours, I guess, mutual friend from your region of the country joining us tonight. I think making his third return to Party Chat. We got Nerdporial Lifeform joining us tonight as well. What's up, Nerdporial? How you doing?
Good. Nice theme song. I was jamming my head to it.
Me too. I like it. So I see you got Thwack is in chat over on the Twitch side. What's up, Thwack? I've been seeing him a lot in my the Satisfactory streams. He's like, finally, this is so cringe. Well, I freaking love it. And that's what matters. So, but welcome you guys, and welcome to another Party Chat. I think Nerdporial, I think you hold the record for most appearances on Party Chat. Who's not a co-host. So I'll have to go back and double check that, but I think you might be winning. So. But anyways,
do I get a prize at least? Do I get some money?
I'll have to make you a banner and like Party Chat MVP or something.
All right.
So, Thwack says I've been waiting 7 hours for this. It's 3 a.m. because he was in my Metroidvania Monday stream last night, and he's way over across the pond. So it's like early in the morning for him. But I'm glad to see you here, Thwack. So I hope you are doing well this morning. It's only 6 p.m. my time, so. Bit of a time difference, but anyways, so before we get into our topics, I always like to go around and just talk about a little bit about what we've been playing lately. So, Nerdporial, I know you kind of dipped out on video games as a whole over the last couple of years. Has that changed since last time we chatted?
Yeah, our buddy Carl right here and our mutual buddy AC have been bullying me into playing video games again. So. I kind of started keeping track of my 2025 and 2026, games I beat, and I basically log them and send it to them to kind of prove that I'm not a tourist after all. so right now I've been the game series that's really been getting me wanting to play games has been Resident Evil. So I've been playing a whole bunch of them. What's funny is the day I beat Code Veronica, I actually attempted it a second time. It's my second play. I beat it a long time ago, but I replayed Code Veronica about a month ago. I fucked myself up. Excuse my language. I completely screwed up how to play it to the point where I had to start the game over. So instead of starting the game over right away, I ended up playing 4 Remake and Resident Evil 8, which I haven't played those. So I finally got around to playing those, and then played Code Veronica again. So.
Okay.
And then I played, of course, the one other game that I played that wasn't Resident Evil was Castlevania Aria of Sorrow, the Game Boy Advance game that was released on the Switch.
Okay.
That's how I played it. So, Yeah, I played the shit out of that one. Yeah, Metroidvanias are like crack to me.
That is how we got introduced. So we're talking about Resident Evil. Have you played Requiem?
I did. I think Requiem was what kind of got me. I think Requiem was what kind of got me back into playing it. So AC was talking about it. I think Adam, Carl, you were talking about it, and so I decided to play. Everybody was playing it, and because I have this thing called FOMO, I had to buy the game and play it, and I ended up really enjoying it. And the game was there's a lot of alien isolation, especially with the girl stalking you. Not Grace.
I thought you were talking about
the child.
the girl.
Her name.
The 10 foot tall girl that
one.
would bite your head off if you.
Which?
Yeah, that one. So. Yeah. So. I ended up really enjoying Requiem, and maybe I haven't replayed it, but I've been meaning to. So I still have my save. I didn't delete it because my PS5 is just so little room, and games are just so fucking big.
They are. So all right. Yeah, we'll be talking about a bunch more Resident Evil here in a moment. But Aria of Sorrow is one of because I've only played a couple of Castlevania games. Symphony of the Night and the Mirrors of it, Lords of Shadow games. So I have a lot. I own most of them, and they're in the backlog. So I will be playing them sometime in the near future.
Yeah.
And especially, I'm looking forward to playing the Game Boy Advance and the DS ones, the Advanced Collection and the Dominus Collection. Those are the Metroidvania ones, and I haven't played those yet. I've heard some of those are excellent.
Yeah, those are really good. Yeah.
Yeah, the DS ones. What was it called again?
The Dominus Collection, I think it's called.
The Dominus Collection. Yeah, they'll probably be next. So that Metroidvania, I'll probably play those. I'm definitely gonna play Belmont's Curse when that comes out in October. What did I say? Belmont's Revenge. Oh, that's a game. That's a Game Boy game. Yeah, my bad. And of course, your favorite all-time game, Silks. No, I mean Ori and the Blind Forest. I know you hate Hollow Knight.
I don't hate Hollow Knight. I just don't really like
you
it.
Do. You totally do. You don't like.
He hates it, but he loves Silksong because
I did hate
Silksong.
I did hate Hollow Knight for the first 3 years that I tried to play it, but after I finally got about halfway through it, I'm like, now that I've gotten into it, it's not that bad. So
he was more mad because he's like, this guy isn't Hollow and he's not a knight. Oh, my headphone.
Yeah.
So, all right. Yeah. All right. And a couple more friendly faces in chat and Nightmares here saying, evening, guys. Good evening, Nightmare. And speak of the devil, just mention him and he shall appear. Angry Canadians in chat. What's up, AC? I guess if Ryan isn't here to swear up a storm Raporial can take up that mantle.
Yes, he can.
So, good to see AC. And Carl, what have you been playing lately?
I've kind of been working my way through the Pixel Remaster collection for Final Fantasy. So I just beat Final Fantasy 3 recently.
I remember reading, I think, something you posted somewhere that you really, really liked that one.
Yeah, I was actually kind of very much surprised at how much I enjoyed that one compared to the other two. So the first one is super basic, obviously. The end game was super hard. I hate Chaos. I hope to never fight him ever again. Because even at level 99 maxed out stats, he was just one-shotting some of my dudes, and I was getting incredibly upset. The second game, the ending was very easy. I don't think I've ever
Pandemonium. Really? Pandemonium was tough when I played it. I played the Origins version,
because there's a weapon in the game that if you get it does like 999 damage, and it's in the final run. So basically, you just one-shot this guy in like 3 hits, and it's not even that hard. Which I found out from reading one of the strategy guys. They're like, "Oh, you want to pick up the sword?" I was like, "Okay," and then I used it. I was like, "Oh, this is incredibly busted and just ruins the game." so that was kind of sad.
What's fun? Yeah, what's funny is one of the characters, the one that goes missing in the beginning of that game. I think his name's Leon. I think he was the model for Squall, or they came from.
I could see that one, to be honest with you.
Because Squall Leon Hart is his name, so at least that's why there's like a connection or something.
But 3 was pretty interesting because they really introduced the job system in that game. So you could kind of mix and match your party, find out which classes work better for you. They have special abilities in those classes as well that make each class feel different and unique. So I thought that was pretty good. The ninja class was overpowered though because you could put on any armor and every weapon. So you could just have like a couple really busted characters and then just a couple supports to support them.
You'll love 5 then. 5 is basically the job system, but like takes it further. And plus, I think the narrative of 5 is way better. 3, I completely don't
basically
3 at all. I only played the
1
DS
through 3
version
are all basically like the same plot line. The Warriors of the Light, defend the light, kill big bad guy.
Yeah, it's really 4 really starts like having like a stronger narrative. So you'll love 4.
But number 3 was the one of the first times where your little squad actually will get the girl at the end too. So there you go. That's a little fun part about it. So you rescue a princess and then she just loves one of your characters in your party, and there you go.
I was like, your squad, did they get to like take turns with her or something?
Nah, it's just basically like the other 3 dudes are there.
Maybe Stephen King wrote that. Maybe he wrote that scenario.
It was in the early 90s. It had to be just before the Super NES.
Yep. That's when the It movie came out too. The old TV.
Yeah, were Final Fantasies. Which ones were NES? Was that 1 through 6? I'm assuming
1 through 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
1 through 3.
I think maybe 4 was also at NES, and then
Super Nintendo. 4 was released as 2 on the Super.
Yeah, so
Nintendo.
number 4. Well, I'm talking about in Japan.
That's what I was referring to.
Yeah, 4 is on Super Nintendo,
Okay.
Super Famicom.
But yeah, I just started 4. I'm very early in the game. I started playing that, and I don't know why. Sunday, after we got done streaming the Xbox Showcase, I just was so tired, and I'm just like, why am I so tired? And I felt like I did one of those classic. I put on a movie, and then all of a sudden Netflix, but I was watching it on YouTube, like auto corrected to like a different one, and I was halfway through it. I'm like, what happened to the other one thing I was watching? I was like, I only shut my eyes for a second,
man.
right? But nah.
Right?
You got to get Tubi. Tubi's the go.
No, but besides that, I've been playing a little bit of the new James Bond game, First Light. So far, it's been pretty okay. It's it's a cinematic game, so there's a lot of setup more than anything else. I got past the tutorial. I got past the him getting accepted into the 00 program. So that's where I'm at with that one. And I've just been playing Forza Horizon 6 as well. I have done like 2 races in that game, and I've just spent the entire time just driving around, smashing the little regional mascots in that game, just finding all the little special guys and everything else in that, doing all the barn finds and everything else. Just, the run-of-the-mill Forza Horizon stuff that is just there to kind of, let you explore their little truncated version of Japan or whatever setting they're in.
Yeah.
And last thing, Octopath Traveler. Been playing that a lot too. Before I went on vacation, and even when I was on the airplane, and not so much on vacation because I got sick. But besides that, I've just been playing that as well here and there.
Got to hear me and Carl here got to hear a few tunes together.
Yeah, we went to
you guys went to that concert.
Yeah, the Square Enix Orchestra.
Yeah, it was a date.
It was fun.
That looked like that would have been pretty cool.
Brian was like, "Thank you for inviting me," and I'm like, "Well, first off, I didn't invite you. You bought yourself a ticket, but I couldn't stop you for that. But I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm like,
you crashed your party.
I'm happy we got to hang out. I was just like, I just told you it was happening, and then you're like, I want to go too, and we're like, okay, sure.
Well, yeah, I've been meaning to go. Yeah, so I kind of invited myself, so I guess that makes me the toxic asshole.
Nah, you didn't invite yourself. It's a public event. You cannot invite yourself to a public event. Like asinine, like sociopathic that sounds. It was like, no, you can't come to this public gathering and pay for a ticket.
I've had people do that to me in the past. So.
Oh my goodness. So
look how we derailed your stream, Neo.
No, we're still right on track. We're talking about what we've been playing. So I don't really know. I don't know that I've ever played any Square Enix developed game. I know I've played Square Enix published games, but I would have liked to have gone to that as well.
What are
Even though I probably wouldn't recognize any of that.
It doesn't really matter if you don't recognize all of the tunes. Like I said, there's
Right.
games that I haven't played, but I know about, and it's just like I really liked hearing them. Like Xenogears, I've never played Xenogears, but I know enough about Xenogears to know that it's a beloved franchise. I own it, and I was telling Brian, I'm like, a lot of the music from those games, I liked a lot more because I have never heard them before, you know?
Yeah.
I just noticed Nerdportal's subtitle. That's quite clever there. Games brought my Brian.
Well, yeah, you have to understand. I grew up. My name is Brian, so I grew up, Brian. And whenever I got cards or Valentines, the kids always had spelled my name Brain, Brain, and even some adults still spell my name Brain. So I figure, I'll do a reverse.
It happens from time to time. It's just like you fat thumb it too, especially in a text message.
Oh yeah, and that actually was initially a mistake, and I was like, should I correct it? I'm like, no.
Nah,
that became intentional. I'm not gonna lie and say it was always the case. Yeah.
So, I'll see our buddy Jay, Nerd Takes in chat. What's up, Jay? Good evening. Good to see you.
Yes, it's good to see you, Jay. Great guy. He did the Xbox showcase with me.
Oh, very nice. So, yeah, 007. I do want to play that eventually. I like the look of it, and it's currently in our video game fantasy league. It's my highest scoring game so far. So
yeah, and you didn't play it. That's the funny part.
I plan to, but as I was saying, patient and frugal, so I'll pick it up when it's on a good discount.
No, don't worry. I didn't play Mina the Hollower either, so there you go.
Oh, is that one of the ones that you have?
Yeah. Jason's very upset at me, and I love it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that one's a pretty high-scoring game, as is Forza Horizon 6. Very nice.
Yeah, and
I know you're going to play Onimusha, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm day one. I have spent, right now, combined with all my pre-orders and collector's editions just recently, probably like close to $3,000 now.
Jeez.
Yeah, well, a lot of that stuff doesn't charge me up front, luckily, but there was some that did.
Right.
Because they're through like Amazon. So it's like I just secured it. So if I don't want it, I can always cancel it. I just always... Well, you saw what happened with the Xbox Showcase, how quickly all their collector's editions just basically sold out. I waited a little bit for the Halo one because I'm like, I'll probably still be there. And then it was like, oh, the Xbox copy is gone. I'm like, damn it! So I quickly pre-ordered the Steam copy, just so I could secure all that stuff. And then I said the same thing would happen with the Fable one. I'm like, I'll be fine. I'll wait till tomorrow to get payday. And then it's like, no, the Xbox copy is also gone on that one. So I'm like, oh, damn it! Now I got to pre-order the Steam copy there too. So I'll probably just give those codes away on my YouTube channel or something for a live stream.
Very nice. All right. As for myself, to answer what I've been playing lately, kind of like last time, I've been playing almost nothing off stream. Basically, everything I've been playing has been on stream. So I did Metroidvania Monday last night, as usual, and I just beat Shadow Complex again because I freaking love that game, and I needed a palate cleanser after the last Metroidvania Monday game I played, which I really did not like, which was Blast Brigade. And I wrote a review for it on GameShelf, and I wrote it in Google Docs and then pasted it into GameShelf when I was done. And it was 7 pages long. So that one took me like a week to write and proofread, but I went into artistic detail about everything that I did like about it, because there's a lot that I did like about Blast Brigade, but there was way more that I didn't like. So I needed something that I knew that I was going to love, and something that was pretty short. So I did Shadow Complex in 2 streams. I started it last week and finished it last night, and I freaking love that game. It's definitely... deserves its spot in my top 5 Metroidvanias. So I would love
if Metal Gear was a Metroidvania. I think Shadow Complex would be the
I've not thought about that, but that is quite an apt analogy. So but yeah, so I did that on Metroidvania Monday last night, and then the basically the only other thing I've really been doing on stream, didn't get to do almost anything last week, but the other biggest thing that I've been doing a lot of is Satisfactory, and I've been obsessed with that again lately because that game is easy to obsess over, and I freaking love that game. So
what's Microsoft Jigsaw? Every time I go on Discord, I see Neo's playing Microsoft Jigsaw.
You know, Discord does this weird thing where you may launch a game one time, and Discord like says you're playing it for like 3 weeks straight. So.
I know. I was like, I'm like, damn, Neo really loves virtual puzzles. I didn't know this about him.
It is an actual like puzzle game where you have to fit it's a jigsaw puzzle game where you just put the puzzle pieces together. I played it for a few minutes yesterday and a few minutes the day before in order to get an achievement, in order to keep my achievement streak alive, because I'm almost at like, I think I'm going to hit 4 or 5 years next month. And I was like, I don't want to boot up my Xbox and play something, so I'm just getting an achievement on something I can do here on my PC.
Yeah.
So I have played that for a couple of minutes for the last 2 days or so. But yeah, Discord, like you'll play it once and it'll show that you've been playing it for like 3 weeks. So I don't know why it still says I'm playing it. The thing that I've actually been playing the most of offline has been on my phone, and that's the Microsoft Solitaire, because I play that for a few minutes every day. Usually, like as you mentioned, this is actually one of our topics that I have, not for tonight, but you mentioned a long time ago, and it's still in the bank of questions to pull from, but like a going to bed game. And right now, that for me, that's Solitaire. I'll play it for about 10 minutes or so before I fall asleep every night.
No, I
so that's the Microsoft game that I actually have been playing a decent amount of. But the other game I was good. It sucks that Ryan's not here because I wanted to rub this in his face. But the other thing, I didn't play it last week, but I finished playing through it again the week before on my Wednesday Retro Rewind stream where I've been playing retro games. And that was, I played through Perfect Dark. I played through GoldenEye prior to that, and then I immediately followed that up with Perfect Dark. So they're both fresh from my mind, played them both back to back, and it just solidified Perfect Dark is better than GoldenEye in every way. And I while I was playing Perfect Dark, because I was doing it on stream, I was making like a verbal list of all the reasons why it's better. And during Satisfactory, who I've been playing through with Lowest Expectations, he's like, hey, you should turn that list and make a video out of that. So I don't know when I'm going to do that, but I'm going to make my first video on my channel in like 2, maybe 3 years at some point, of all the reasons why Perfect Dark is better than GoldenEye. I love both, but Perfect Dark is far superior. So, but Ryan's not here for me to rub it in his face tonight. So that's pretty much everything that I've been playing lately. So I do have a couple things that I need to get done because this is possibly the last party chat until like late July. We might have one in 2 weeks from tonight. I'm not sure yet because that's actually the night before I'm leaving, and I'm not sure when we're leaving. But a couple things that I do want to get knocked out before I leave is I haven't touched it in weeks, but I've been playing through Donkey Kong Country Returns for the first time for the Wii Retro Achievement rollout, and I need to beat that game. And the other thing I want to beat before I leave is Scars Above, which I know, Carl, you played. I don't know if you played the whole thing, but I do know that you played it on stream for a little bit a while back.
No, I never did.
Didn't finish it. Okay. I'm liking it. I just
never
need
played
to,
it.
You never wait. I swear that I saw that you were gonna like do a showcase on it.
I was, but I never played it.
Oh, we never. Okay. Well, I'm liking that one, and that's just one that I haven't played in like a week or so, and I want to get that one knocked out here in the next week or so as well. So those are the ones that I kind of like top of the food chain right now.
All right, right on.
So, Bartholomew, the Destroyer of Worlds, has come to take the souls of people with bad taste. I'm not sure who that is, but Thwax, I've been only playing Satisfactory this month. Yeah, that's Thwax has been showing up for the Satisfactory streams, and so it's been great hanging out with him because that game is excellent. So
there you go.
All right. With that, we'll go ahead and move on into our topics for tonight. And as usual, I always give the guest the option to suggest a topic. And he's like, and that is Brian here, Newporial. He's like, I want to talk about Resident Evil. I'm like, well, it's got to be something that, we can, a question that we can all answer. So I was like, how about we just talk about our favorite Resident Evil games? He's like, yeah, let's do that. So, Brian, since it sounds like you're a big fan of Resident Evil and you want to talk about Resident Evil, what is your favorite Resident Evil game?
That's a good question. I mean, it's varied over the years. I used to think 4 was my favorite because I really enjoyed playing the Wii version.
Yes,
but I think my favorite so far is still the remake of the first game that came out.
That was on GameCube as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I recently, for the first time, played the original, like 1996 Resident Evil. And I noticed the differences right away. It's like they took the exact layout of the original Resident Evil and they just added to it. And I think to me that's how you do a remake. Is you basically you keep the spirit of it, or you keep the bones of it the same, or at least as close as possible, and then basically add to it and make it fresh. And that's kind of what I'm hoping that Ocarina of Time does.
Agreed. So Resident Evil 1 was originally PlayStation 1 game, right?
It was
Correct.
PlayStation 1 and it was on Sega Saturn.
Sega Saturn. Okay, I know there was a Resident Evil on N64, but I don't know which one it was.
Resident Evil 2 did get a port to that as well, and I believe the Dreamcast and of Windows eventually.
So the original one had the static camera, and it just shifted every time you moved into a new room, right?
Yeah, more or less.
And
I think
it
was
control over the camera. It had tank
angles.
controls.
Yeah,
fixed camera angles and tank controls, right?
Correct.
So I've heard great things about the Resident Evil remake, not like the one from a few, the recent one, but the GameCube one that you were just referring to. Is it also like that, or did it go with the Resident Evil 4 like over the shoulder style?
This was before Resident Evil 4, so
yeah, so it's still got the fixed camera angle.
Oh, it was
so
that remake was before Resident Evil 4 came out.
Yes, yeah, that was 2002.
Okay. So it still plays very similarly, but looks better, so it is a remake, not a remaster, though. So they did add stuff to it.
It's definitely a remake. They've added a lot of stuff to it. There's they add a lot of lore about the architect and the bad stuff they did to the architect and his family of the mansion. And let's just say the daughter is still kind of lurking around the mansion after 30 years. And I had this discussion with, I forget who I had this discussion with. But we were talking, I was talking to him about like Requiem and how Requiem, you go back to Raccoon City and all that. Spoiler alert. I think it was a missed opportunity to bring back Lisa Trevor and have her still lurking around Raccoon City, because we don't really see her die.
I think I remember hearing you say that somewhere, so I just don't remember where that was.
I don't know. I don't know if I ever said it live or something. Maybe it was on. Or no, it was on. I actually know. That was Matt Cave. Matt Cave.
Yes.
Me and Matt Cave talked about it. Matt Cave brought that up. And he was.
That's why I remember you. I'm like, I swear I remember you hearing you say that. And it was it was on your Matt Cave stream.
Yeah. So okay, it was Matt Cave. There you go.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and go next because I've only played one Resident Evil game and I haven't actually beaten it, but that is going to change very soon. Because I don't like spooky, so I've never really been interested in the Resident Evil games. But the one that I played through most of was Resident Evil 4, and it was the Wii version, which in my opinion is the best version. I've tried the GameCube version, the Wii version, and when they released it on Xbox One, because it was on Game Pass for a ways back, and I definitely think the Wii version was the best one. I never finished it. Because I got stuck because I didn't have the equipment I needed, and I was like, I'm not going back through the game to go get it. And then I later found out on Party Chat, there's like, you can just go buy what you need from the vendor. I'm like, oh, well, I didn't realize that. But anyways, Resident Evil 4, the Wii version, just recently, last week, I think, got, because we got retro achievements back in April or March. I forget which.
Start the counter. We got one.
I think it's actually number 2 already. But we got Retro Achievement Sport, and Resident Evil 4 just got Retro Achievements last week. So very, very soon, I'm not sure when exactly, but in the near future, I'll be playing Resident Evil 4, and I will play through the whole thing, and I will beat it for the first time. So that'll be my first time ever beating a Resident Evil game. And that'll be
that's gonna be a roller coaster ride, brother.
So
I hope you stay locked in.
I've asked people who are fans of it, and like, how far did I get? They're like, you probably got about 60% of the way through the game. So I got a good chunk of the way through the game, and I liked what I played, and it was like I was expecting to be like a horror game. It's like it's creepy, but I wouldn't call Resident Evil 4 a horror game. It wasn't really scary.
No, Resident Evil really hasn't been a horror game after 2, really.
Okay.
Well, I disagree. I think 7 and 8 were pretty scary.
Well, there was that track. That's what I mean. It was like 3 was more action. 4 was definitely more action. 5 was undeniably action. And then 6 was an abortion. So there you go with that one.
You're not wrong.
But at the same time, I've mentioned it plenty of times before. Keiji Inafune was running Konami. Keiji Inafune, was a giant Westaboo, as they like to say.
Keiji
Konami
Inafune
or
was
Capcom?
Capcom.
Capcom.
Was
Sorry,
Capcom.
that's why I meant Capcom.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was like, wait a minute.
I met him, by the way.
I was like, because I know him because
I for some reason
Mega Man.
always will say Konami and Capcom just interchangeably. Sometimes it's a Freudian slip. You know me. I will always mess up at least one word for some reason. My brain just fires out whatever it thinks of first. But yeah, I get 99% accurate. There you go. Oh no, one grammar error. But yeah, that's really what it was. He was running the company, and he tried to really just cater to the Western markets. That's why we got games like Lost Planet 3 and Biocommander and all that stuff. Biotic Commando, sorry.
Oh, it's like Bionic Commando. That was published by Capcom, which I'm a fan of that franchise, and that's one that I would like to see get a revival. I would love to see a Bionic Commando Rearmed 3 because I think it's better in 2D than 3D. But I did still like the 3D Bionic Commando, but it was not great. But Bionic Commando Rearmed was excellent.
Yeah, but like Capcom returning to Resident Evil's survivor horror roots with 7 was really what helped get the franchise going. And then 8 came out, and then it got like also controversial again with the fans.
Yeah, I know exactly why. I can't say.
Because everyone wanted to be stepped on by that big, tall vampire lady.
Those herbs are really effective. Like they perform some miracles.
But I will say, for Brian to have Resident Evil Remake as his favorite game, that's not a hot take. A lot of Resident Evil fans think that is the best Resident Evil game.
Yeah, when we were talking about Requiem at the beginning, and you said something like a 10-foot tall, that I thought you were talking about Lady D from 8, but I was like, no, we're talking about 9, so there must be another.
No, Lady Demiscu. That's however you say her name. Yeah, she was in 8. Mommy. Yeah, she was in.
But there was another tall person in 9. It sounds like as well.
No, there's. I think she's called the Witch. I don't know her personal name because I played that, but I didn't get super far into it. But it's like a little lore book in there. It's like the witch can only come out at night and stuff. Stay in the light is like the little thing. And then you get this giant 8 foot tall naked mole rat looking girl just like munching you down to death.
So
yeah, I had to turn that. I had to turn that off. I couldn't look at it. It's so gruesome.
So great. What about you, Carl? Do you have a favorite Resident Evil?
Mine is so vanilla. It's Resident Evil 4 for the GameCube, so I just went with a different direction with this one. It's like, what Resident Evil game do I like enough to see a remake for? Because they're remaking all these Resident Evil games, and I feel it's about time that we got Resident Evil Outbreak. We get a remake of that, especially with working internet and working, microphones to talk to people.
What was Outbreak?
Outbreak was basically the first attempt to make a Resident Evil multiplayer game on an online scale. So back in the days of the PS2, you could go on PS2 online and you could pick one.
My next question is, what platform was this on?
Yeah, they made 2 games, so it was good enough to get a sequel. But basically, you got to pick one survivor, and one of the survivors, I forget her first name, but Grace's mom, Ashcroft, she's one of the survivors in Outbreak. So you could pick one of these people, and you kind of have to try to run through the end of a mission to survive getting infected. But you're everyone's infected, so you have to basically run against your infection counter before you turn into a zombie. And then you turn a zombie, and everyone can kill you, and then steal your stuff, and just continue on with the game. But overall, it was a good idea, held back by obviously the technology of the time, and I think the overall unpreparedness Capcom had for the time. But it does have one of the coolest bosses in the game series, in my opinion, and that is the zombie elephant that you fight at the zoo. So I want to see that return, just because I feel like now's the time. Instead of this these RE hero shooters that they come out with for no reason, I would like to see them just full on invest into it, like they've done with other games, like Exoprimal, like something like get that back in here. Just get like a group of 4 and kind of
Exoprimal, but with zombies. That would basically be. I didn't play it, but I think that's what the World War Z game was kind of like, from what little I saw of it.
Yeah, World War Z, and like you see that a lot in Space Marine 2, because those are the same people who made that game.
Oh, I did not realize that. That makes a lot of sense, though. Space Marine 2 was great.
Yeah, also coming to Switch 2, which we found out today.
Just announced today, yeah.
Yeah, so that's funny. But yeah, that, like I said, I can go on and on about Resident Evil 4 for the GameCube. It's one of my favorite GameCube games of all time. I've beaten that game backwards and forwards. It's the same thing with Mass Effect. I kind of know the dialogue, and I have the quips all memorized. It's like, oh, she's equipped with ballistics and stuff like that, you know? It's like, I love it. You know, I've beat that game, just knife fighting Krauser and as many people as I could. And, yeah, there's not much to say. I think the GameCube is the best way to play it, but that's just because it's just pure nostalgia and bias. That's it.
Yeah, the reason why I didn't like I don't like playing it with the controller. I think the aiming just is wrong on playing that game on controller, and that's why I like playing it on Wii, because I felt like I could actually aim properly.
That's not a hot take either. A lot of people say the Wii is the best version. Okay. Like I said, we're not having a lot of hot takes with Resident Evil tonight, fellas. Here, no one's saying Resident Evil 6 is the best game ever, and everyone else sucks. You know.
I have a feeling that if I played it, it would probably be my favorite, but I haven't played it, so
I don't know. It all depends.
So, Angry Canadian did say that they retconned the lore, talking about the Resident Evil remake, the original remake. I'll take your word for it, because I know very little about Resident Evil. And the herb, and Resident Evil 9 is his favorite at the moment. So yeah, I know he's been liking that one.
He's only played 4 of them, so there you go.
And a little bit more experience than me.
He played 5. He beat Resident Evil 9 before me, but for obvious reasons. That's why he beat it before me.
All right. So this show, we typically don't get into hot video game news, but I thought this was kind of a big week in video games, so we should have a topic on it, because every once in a while I will tie a topic on Party Chat into what's going on in the video game world. So there were a lot of showcases over the last week, and curious to hear from you guys what games that were not necessarily just announced, but what games were showcased on any of those showcases that you are eagerly anticipating. So I created a spreadsheet. I don't know if you guys pulled it up, but I basically listed all the games from all the showcases. It was like 220 games. So there was a lot of stuff talked about across. I
feel so bad because I did not look at that sheet that you put so much effort into.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 showcases: the Xbox, the PlayStation State of Play, the Nintendo Direct, which I just added that one today because that was earlier this morning. The PC Game Show, the Summer Games Fest, the Future Game Show, and Day of the Devs. I think I got them all. But yeah, there were a lot of games talked about in last week. So I'm just curious from you guys, what games are you most excited for?
Well, Brian, how about you? You start, because I feel like your list is probably very short.
I mean, what was announced? I'm trying to look and see. I mean, obviously Ocarina of Time. You know, I didn't think, I was kind of skeptical that it existed, but it does exist. So
I've been mentioning Ocarina of Time, a remake, on a bunch of my streams, and I would kill for a proper. I would, like, we were talking about this beforehand, but I want a remaster. Yeah. But if they do a remake, I think Nintendo has the highest likelihood of doing a remake good. But all I want is better graphics and better frame rate, and I'll be happy.
Mm-hmm. That obviously Resident Evil Veronica, but just be Code Veronica. So now they're remaking it, so I want to check it out. I've supported all the remakes so far.
Real quickly, the only thing that sucks is that the Zelda remake is Switch 2, and I don't have a Switch 2, so I'll have to get a Switch 2 for it. But
yep. Don't worry, you can get the collector's edition Switch 2 that will probably come out for that Ocarina game.
That's exactly what I was thinking about. I'm like, I would be shocked if they didn't have a special Switch 2 like Ocarina of Time version, and it's like, I don't have money for that, but I might have to figure out some way to come by that, because that might get me. Anyways,
if you need help for that, I'll help you with it.
All right, we'll talk about that afterwards. But Resident Evil Veronica, I know I've been hearing lots of rumors about or maybe people just wanting a Resident Evil Veronica remake. I don't know. Like I said, I don't really know much about Resident Evil. Where did Veronica fall in the what was originally released on, and about what time frame was that? Was that in the 90s? Was that in the early 2000s?
It was like right at the turn of the century. It was like 99, 2000.
Yeah, it came out. Yeah. Didn't it come out? I forgot it came out on
Dreamcast. It did come out on
first,
Dreamcast,
and then,
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And PlayStation. I don't remember.
So, you being a big Resident Evil fan, you're this another one that you're. Are you going to day one this?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. What was because Resident Evil Veronica is more of like it's not one of the mainline games, right? It's more one of the spin-off games.
It should be a mainline game, and as far as I'm concerned, I think that should actually have the 3.
Oh, okay.
I think that should be called Resident Evil 3, and I think Nemesis, as much as that's Resident Evil, I mean I think Resident Evil 3 Nemesis is basically Resident Evil 1.5, even though originally 2 was called 1.5, but that's because 3 takes place before 2.
Oh, okay. So
it's in the same 2 and 3, or 2 and Nemesis take place during the same events.
Yeah.
The Raccoon City outbreak and eventual.
3 is kind of controversial with a lot of fans. I know a lot of people look back on it and say it's a good game, but it's also very mixed reception amongst a lot of people in the fan base, especially because of how short it is. And then the remake also divided some people. I actually like the 3 remake a lot, and I think 3 as a whole is fine. They're just really short games.
Is 3 the one where you play as Claire?
No, Jill.
No, you play. Yeah, Jill.
Okay.
Go Veronica, you play as Claire.
Okay. So, you're excited that Veronica's getting the remake treatment. All right.
Yeah, it's a good game. They obviously upgraded the game. Feels like an upgrade compared to the early ones. The camera is not fixed anymore. Like, the camera will follow you. So I always assume that Lakitu, from Mario 64 is filming is following you and filming you, basically, moving with you. But it's got a lot of great new lore. You find out there's more to Umbrella than just Oswald Spencer and his mansion. All that there was other founders, and this game kind of establishes that. And then so you have this crazy family of nobility that well the kids are pretty pretty bad. So and yeah, it's basically a continuation of 2, because Claire Redfield's in Resident Evil 2 along with Leon, and she is looking for Chris, her brother. And 3, and then Code Veronica continues that.
Okay. So I see Vanquish is in chat. What's up, Vanquish? Haven't seen you in a while, buddy, but good to see you. And he's saying Resident Evil 9 is my game of the year, even with everything that's come out so far. And he says technically Code Veronica should have been Resident Evil 3. So he agrees with you. Exactly what you just said. But I do love Nemesis, is what he says. So.
Oh yeah, Nemesis is a lot of fun. I mean, I enjoyed the remake of 3. I think they should have kept all the areas intact, but that's just me. So
I liked it a lot.
All right.
It was a little too scripted. I was hoping for an upgraded Mr. X, to be honest, but that's just me.
All right. Any other things that caught your eye?
Well, I mean, obviously, and I haven't gotten far, but I really enjoyed it. I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake, I waited for so many years for Remake to come out. I played it right away. I haven't really gotten around to replaying it with the Intergrade and, of course, eventually Rebirth, and it just all came out so quickly. For me, like, the 4 years just kind of went by, zipped by.
So you've not played Rebirth yet?
So I've not played Rebirth yet. But seeing Revelations come out is giving me more incentive to giving me more incentive to beat it and to get through it. And that way I'll be up to date, and I'll be able to have these conversations with all you guys who are playing it. You're going to play it right away. So, because I really enjoyed 7. When I first played 7, I was hooked on it right away. I was hooked on it when I played it on the PlayStation emulator. So, and I would stay up late I would stay up late when I was in my dorm into college to play it. So it was a great way to just just a great way to de-stress myself from taking physics exams and all that. So,
all right. What about you, Carl? What caught your interest the most from this last week of announcements and whatnot?
There's been a lot of games that we've known about for a while. Obviously, Gears E-Day, the Halo stuff, God of War rumor that was going around prior to everything else, Wolverine. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we knew was coming. I'd say I wanted to go with some that kind of caught me off guard. One of them that I really did enjoy, I don't know if you saw this one, Neo, or not, but it's called Magicians, the Devil's Deal. Have you guys seen that one?
That looks very interesting.
Yeah, I do like the 1980s Harry Houdini, 1800s Harry Houdini kind of magician shtick that they got going on there, where you fight people with like a old timey magic wand, throwing like the card tricks at people. I know Nerd Takes and me were kind of joking where it's like, wouldn't it be fun if they had like the rabbit out of the hat bit, and it's just like that scene from Monty Python's Holy Grail where the rabbit just like lashes out of people's necks and bites off their heads.
That would be hilarious.
Like, I was looking at this, and it's a Focus Home published game. Looks like a small little indie studio, and I'm just like, wow, this looks like it's got a lot of heart. It's interesting. I like the concept. I kind of can't wait to get my hands on this game and test it out. It will be a day one Game Pass game too, so that makes it a lot easier to swallow in terms of just trying out a game. One of the things that was announced today too was that new Final Fantasy 2.5D game. I forget the name. Resonance. I kind of like that style of game that they kind of got going on here. It's done up in that Octopath Traveler engine and Octopath Traveler fighting system, from what I saw. I haven't looked too much deep into it, but I also like that it kind of is just a fan service game. So you got to summon heroes from other Final Fantasy games. I saw the protagonist of Final Fantasy 2 pop up in there, and then the girl from 4 that everyone likes. I forget her name, the green-haired girl. And then, of course, they had...
Terra.
So, that's 6. Okay, I got that mixed up. But yeah, there was a bunch of fun things that popped up. I will say that Gears of War E-Day, dog, I'm in. I'm so in. That looks just like a perfect example of just like, we're bringing Gears back in the best of ways. The cover system in that game is just totally revamped. They got new movement mechanics in that game that look like it's just going to add so much more playability. It's not going to be as rigid as the old Gears of War games were. And just the graphics alone are just amazing. Like, some of the best graphics I looked at. I know this has been like a common take, but I thought it myself. I watched Wolverine, and I was like, oh, that looks good. And then I saw Gears. I'm like, ooh, Wolverine kind of looks like a PS4 game compared to that now. I was just like, oh, I couldn't believe that was coming. But yeah, the Magician game for sure is definitely high up on my list. I mean, everything on there. The new Senua game. I'm a Hellblade fan, so I'm happy to see that come back. So that looks good. And then on top of that too, the Resonance Soul Plague Tale game. I did not expect it to be that action heavy for sure, especially.
Well, yeah,
caught me off guard.
So, I think I was going to say there's another game that looks similar to the Magician game. I think with all the games that get announced, I'm forgetting which one. I'm pretty sure it's Valor Mortis. Looks kind of similar. Looks very Dishonored-y, which looks interesting. Is that
the Napoleon game?
Yes. At least I'm pretty sure that was Valor Mortis, but the Napoleon one that looks like Dishonored was the one that I hadn't heard of before, and I was like, that one definitely caught my interest.
Yeah, there was like some they were like, and so is playing Napoleon, and I know Jay and me were like, am I supposed to know who that is? Is this supposed to be like a big deal? I'm terrible with movies. I figured he might know because he's a lot better with that. Even he didn't know, so I thought that was funny. But yeah, it was just overall fun. I know Jason, our friend Jason, was over the moon with the Summer's Games Fest, obviously, because we got our Final Fantasy VII Revelation announcement, which I'm looking forward to. It looks great, and we all were memeing on the Breath of the Wild homage. Tears of the Kingdom jump
with
with
the jumping off the airship thing.
Yeah, we're all having fun with that.
Yep.
But it's there's just a lot of fun. One game that did stick out to me, and I feel like we need to play that, Neo, and get like maybe Jason and some other people. The Join Us game.
I remember hearing that name. I didn't pay attention to it, so I'll have to go back and watch it. Is that the one where you're creating a cult?
Yes, it is. It's a 4-player. It's up to 4-player co-op cult game, and it looks like all the wackiness of a goat simulator with like all the over top like Far Cry action. My wife was like, "Is this Far Cry?" Because she was like, "What's going on here?"
I wasn't paying attention to that one, so I'll have to go back and watch that trailer, but I do remember hearing some people mention it. So now that you kind of described it, that does sound kind of fun, so I'll have to go take a look at it.
Yeah, everyone here who knows me knows that Cult of the Lamb is like one of my favorite indie darlings from the last 5 years, and now we got a more palatable, I would say, game for people to try out. Definitely looks really fun. Also kind of a game, day one Game Pass game, but...
Okay.
Like I said, there's just so many great games. Obviously, we could talk about Chronos getting DLC. We could talk about,
I didn't even hear about Chronos New Dawn.
Yeah, Chronos New Dawn is getting
I missed
DLC.
That one.
And then Monster Hunter Wilds is getting their huge expansion next year. There was just so much great announcements. It's just like, and then the month of September, how we're just going to get fisted like a puppet for just every game that wants to come out in September. Tyler, I think, posted it in the GameShelf Discord. Like, I want to bring this up real quick too, to kind of not super derail, but like add more gravitas to this thing. So in the month of September, well, let's go end of August to early October. So Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2, Star Wars Zero Company, Residents of Plague Tale game, all come out on the same day. The Blood of the Dawnwalker, the Halloween game, Marvel's Wolverine. This is all September I'm naming off, by the way. Destroy All Humans 2 comes to the Nintendo Switch 2. Trails in the Sky second chapter. Also announced today, the new Fire Emblem game, which I'm also excited about, also comes out on the same day.
Weave.
Doom Awakening comes out for the consoles. Control Resonance, Dragon Quest, the definitive edition for Switch 2, Silent Hill Townfall, Hot Wheels Infinite Rush, Valor Morris, Harvest Moon, Echoes of Terada, all come out on the same day, September 24th. Onimusha comes out a day later. Minecraft Dungeons 2 comes out on the 29th of September. And then we get to early October. It's Rayman Legends, Dynasty Warriors come out on October 1st. And then Ace Combat 8, the second. Star Wars Galactic Racer, which I'm excited about, comes out on the same day of Gears of War E-Day. That's just the tip of the iceberg there. I'm just going to leave it like that. But we are so boned if you are fans of so many, video game genres. It's just wild.
Yes, there's a lot of good stuff coming. So, Thwack says, bye, Neo. I'm going to bed. It's 4 a.m. Well, thanks for hanging out for a little bit, Thwack. Maybe we'll catch the rest on the replay. But have a good sleep well and have a good day. But yes, we have a lot of good stuff in the near future. So all the doom and gloomers should, not that they're not going to stop doom and glooming, but there's less ammo in their guns now.
Oh, they'll find something.
Yeah,
it's like an angry girlfriend. She'll find something.
So, let's see here. Canadians said, oh, by the way, they added an easy mode for Rebirth, so now you can speed through the game if you want. Okay. Game journalist mode, it sounds like. Vanquish says he's excited and dreading Alien Isolation 2. And a couple people saying, yeah, the Magician game looks great. Carl's obsession with cults needs to be studied. Vanquish says, I showed my wife the cult game. She's a big Cult of the Lamb fan. First question she had was that if you can make your cultists eat their own poop.
Yeah, you could do that in Cult of the Lamb.
Oh, okay.
One of your cult members goes, I have a horrible desire and a strange, twisted desire to eat poop. So you can make them eat poop.
Eat the poo-poo.
Eat the poo-poo.
That's gross. But Thwack said, by the way, I was hyped for Zelda until I saw the art style. I think it looks gorgeous. But it was just a teaser, so we need to see more. And 2026 is an epic year for games, and we're only halfway through the year. Yeah. So for me, the ones that all the ones that I wrote down are ones that we already knew about, but I now have seen more about them, and I am even more excited. So after like seeing the Halo campaign evolve, looks gorgeous. We'll see how it is. I wouldn't be surprised if they retcons some lore again, but it looks like it's going to play beautifully, and it's a gorgeous looking game. The Ocarina of Time remake, that's my one or two number one game for games that I want a remake of. The other being Super Metroid, and redone in the Dread engine. That'd probably be my number one. Ocarina of Time would probably be my number two.
No.
Yeah, they could finally fix all the flaws with Super Metroid.
The flaws were not that bad. Not big of a deal.
That's what people with rose-tinted glasses say.
I didn't grow up with it. I played it as in my 20s. Played in my late 20s.
Nerd
I didn't grow up with it. So.
I remember, I don't remember where it was, whether it was on YouTube or somewhere, but I said something about I'd love to get a remake of the Super Metroid in the Dread engine so they could fix the flaws. And someone's like, "What flaws?" I'm like,
I didn't enjoy the
the best playing 2D Metroid for sure. But yeah, I'm like, oh well, here's a list of flaws that could be fixed with a Super Metroid remake. I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's just there are things that could be made much better. Anyways, that's off topic.
I don't know.
The one that another one that we knew about, but we actually got to see a little bit more and is really bumped up. It really piqued my interest a lot was Castlevania Belmont's Curse. Looks. The one thing that I saw in the trailer that I'm like, I don't know about this is it looks like there's some sort of card system in it, which I know there's been some games in the last few years that implement a card system, and I've heard that the games that have done that haven't been that well received. But the gameplay that I saw looked amazing, so I'm very, very much more interested in Belmont's Curse now. Thank you, Angry Canadian, and I can actually agree on something. He stands with me as well. But we have a lot of very similar takes when it comes to Metroid. Just everything else we have drastically different opinions on. The other two that we also knew about, and after seeing a bunch more, I am just like so much more hyped now, is, as you mentioned, Control Resonant. Yes. Because when it first got announced, I was like, yeah, Control 2. And then we saw a little bit of the gameplay. I'm like, this is not Control 2 because Control was a third-person shooter, and this is a hack and slash. But after seeing some more of it, I'm like, this looks freaking dope. This looks like a proper hack and slash, as I like to call them, not a Souls-like. So this looks like very Ninja Gaiden-esque. So I am down. And this whole, it looks like Inception because the cities are sideways and upside down. You can shift perspectives on the fly. This game looks freaking dope, and I am so down for this game.
It looks Control
Which
Resonant.
game is this again?
Control Resonant.
Yeah,
it's funny because the Resonant word has been used in 3 games that have been announced very recently. Control Resonant. The other one that really jumped up, as you just mentioned, was the Plague Tale Legacy. Legacy, a Plague. It's the
Resonance, the Plague Tale.
It's Resonance, not Resonant with a T. That's the Control one. And then the other one that just got announced today was the Final Fantasy Resonance. So it's a very popular word for video games recently. But yeah, the Plague Tale, the first two are of the Plague Tale games are stealth games because you're playing as children. So it makes sense that they're not
First one is more stealthy. The second one is more combat. It has a little bit more.
Is more combat in the second one, but you're kids. You don't really go hand-to-hand combat except for with you have a one-time use knife that you can use as get a jail-free card. So it's not really heavy on the combat. You're playing as a different character in this one. This actually takes place before the first 2 games because those 2 take place about 6 months apart, and this game takes place 15 years prior. And one of your companions in the second Plague Tale is now the primary character, Sophia. And as you said, it looks like it's going heavy on the combat, and it looks more like a hack and slash rather than a stealth game, and it also looks excellent. So I'm very, very excited for this one as well.
They teased a lot about that game too. I think they were trying to imply that it's based off the myth of the Minotaur, because I think
Minotaur did play a heavy theme in the trailers.
Yeah, so it feels like from what it looks like, it takes place in more Greek areas, and there was a lot of that stuff too. Because it looks like when you see some of these like fighting pits going on, it looks like you're in kind of like those Greek amphitheaters, and more so late antiquity, like Greek armor, kind of more Roman inspired stuff like that too. So more, I would say, definitely a lot more action. That's for sure. She was kicking some booty in that game.
Yeah. So this isn't what I was expecting because I just played I replayed the first Plague Tale earlier this year, and then I immediately followed it up with my very first playthrough of the second Plague Tale, and those are both excellent games. And after beating the second Plague Tale, I was like, I have in mind like 3 follow-up games for this, and the one that we're getting, this Resonance one, is not any of those, but it still looks awesome. So I am very, very excited for the Plague Tale Resonance. And then
everyone needs to play Requiem. Hold on, I gotta cut you off. Everyone needs to play Plague Tale Requiem. It is probably one of the best new video games of this like whole generation. Best written game. If you loved Uncharted 2, this is the closest I think you will ever get to that same high of Uncharted 2. Amicia and her brother Hugo are great. They're great protagonists, and I gotta say, Requiem is not afraid to fucking just go there, and that's what I love about that too. It's not a safe story at all.
It take place during the Black Death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do a really good job tying that in, because I'm also a history nerd, with the plague of Justinian, which if you know anything about history, that was the plague that took out a bunch of people back in the Roman times. But on top of that too, modern forensics has found that plague was also the same virus as the Black Death. So it was the bubonic plague.
Yeah. The only thing that it was funny because on Party Chat we do favorite game of a certain year as the last topic, and I think Plague Tale, the second one, came out in 2022, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And I had literally just played it like a week before we got to favorite games of 2022 on Party Chat, and I was going through my list of games that I played that had released in 2022, and I'm like, man, none of these games really were like that outstanding. And then like the last one I got to in my list was Plague Tale. I'm like, that's it. That's easily my favorite game of 2022. So that was just a few episodes of Party Chat ago. So that game was excellent. The only thing that I wasn't a fan of is there were some recurring characters and they had different voice actors. Not the main characters. They were the same, but there were some supporting characters and they had different voice actors than the first game. I wish they could have kept the original voice actors, but that was really my only issue with it.
Yeah, I played that game in French, so it didn't really click with me.
So
wanted to make it feel more to the point.
So, and then you also mentioned Senua. I am also a fan of Hellblade. I also did the very same thing with Hellblade, where I replayed the first one earlier this year, and then I played the second one for the first time, and those were great. This one, it looks like it's kind of doing the same thing as Plague Tale, where the first two Hellblades are like very cinematic, kind of slower paced hack and slash games, but this one looks much more combat, and it looks like not so narrow. It looks like there's a little bit more it's
verticality.
Not necessarily verticality, although it could have that. More so, the game isn't so like point A to point B.
Not walking sim, but look like they're adding more than just walking and talking.
Yeah, it's a little bit more expansive, and it looks like you have some more options. It looks more, options on how you approach things and stuff. But the little bit that we saw also looks great. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And it's funny because one thing that's annoyed me about Hellblade is you have Hellblade Senua's Saga, and then there's Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 or something like that. So in an alphabetical list, they're way far apart from each other and annoys the crap out of me. And then they announced this one called Senua, but then they renamed the second one to Hellblade 2. So now Hellblade 1 and 2 show up right next to each other alphabetically, but this new one is still down there at the bottom of the list. So it's like, can't you just name them all Hellblade so they're grouped together in an alphabetical list? So that's just a little nitpick of mine. But the game itself looks great, and I'm looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, I like I said, there's so many games that are coming out that just look great. Finally, State of Decay 3, I want to play Like that actually does look fun. I like the State of Decay games, but I need people to play with them. I'm not a builder. I don't have that construction of like I can make buildings and art, but I could come up with the ideas and have the creative person do it. I'm an ideas guy, and I'm also the guy that will collect all the resources. I'll do the grunt work. That's fine.
And then just a couple others, like another one that I been announced for a while, but I've heard good things about it, but I hadn't actually looked into it. So I actually went and watched like a gameplay segment for it, and I'm like, this game looks dope, and I definitely want to play it because it doesn't appear to be a Souls-like, but Phantom Blade Zero looks pretty freaking awesome. Looks like a proper hack and slash, as I like to call it.
Yeah, it also got delayed too because it was supposed to release. I think it's September.
Oh, did it? I didn't.
And then they're like, we're not going to sit here. We're going to move to end of October.
Oh, okay. And then, yeah, Wolverine. I've never been a huge into like Marvel other than like the movies, but the Wolverine game, the gameplay looks awesome. It also looks like a proper hack and slash. It's PlayStation only, and I don't have a PlayStation, so I don't know when or if I'll ever play it. But it does look like a pretty good, pretty awesome game to play, gameplay wise.
Yeah,
oh, and that's the other thing is everyone's like calling Jean Grey like Mary Jane from Spider-Man. It's like she looks basically identical to Jesse Faden from the first Control game. She looks way more like Jesse Faden than Mary Jane, in my opinion. So people getting their redheads mixed up.
I think a lot of people were just saying they reused the model for the Mary Jane model for this game. That's my theory. Because even I said,
which would make sense because same studio, right?
Yeah, it's Insomniac.
So I just think that
new Stellar Blade game too. Ariel Ballett said, yeah, that looks really good too.
I haven't played the first one yet. I do have it. I haven't played it yet, but there's a couple others that I do look good, but I haven't played the previous game yet, so I need to play that game before I get hyped for the second one. That being one of them.
Yeah, so. Everyone's telling me I should replay Stellar Blade, and I'm just like, I just don't like those type of combat games, you know. Where if you miss one swing and then your enemy just like flicks your nose and you lose like 30% of your health bar. I'm like, it's for somebody. It's just not for me, you know.
Yeah, and that's where like I'm not a huge fan of Souls games. So it depends on like how Soulsy it is will determine on how much I like it.
I guess the only game that I can play like that is Monster Hunter, but that's also because I play as a range fighter, and these games aren't conducive to range combat, you know.
Yeah. So, but Ariel Ballet is in chat. What's up, Ariel? Good to see you as always. Always doing the Mario jabs. Mario is always the best. He puts everyone in every other game to shame. Boo! Why we need to be in Greece or Rome? Oh, talking about Plague Tale. Come on, game developers. Let's see some African or South American stuff. How about some Oceanic and Pacific Island areas for some more games?
I mean, they have been doing a lot more with South America recently. Obviously, we have the Obsidian Mirror update that they just did for Age of Mythology, and on top of that, too, they also did another, I think, Machu Picchu. Help me out. Who are those people?
That's in Peru.
Yeah, the Peru. But what's their name? The civilization has a name. I'm blanking right now.
The Aztecs?
No, it's not the Aztecs.
The Incas.
Incas, yeah. So they did add an Inca, civilization and campaign story to that as well recently. And what's that? The Zhao game, that African
Tales
game?
of Kinzera Zhao.
Yeah, that's another
I like that game.
African game too that they came out with recently that everyone attacked. Yeah,
yeah, it was very similar. I call it like Prince of Persia: Lost Crown's little brother because they both are very similar. Prince of Persia is like way better, but I still really enjoyed Tales of Kinzera Zhao. It was a good game.
And then they had the worst Tomb Raider game of the new trilogy take place in South America as well, with Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Okay. So, Neo hasn't played because he's a slacker.
That's true, he is.
So,
he's playing jigsaw puzzles. That's what he's doing.
Some love for the new Stellar Blade as well. So, all right, lots of good eating coming up here for if you're a gamer. So
if you can't find any game to like, you just don't like games. I'm gonna say that just right now. If you cannot find any game to like that came out either earlier this year or about to come out or will come out later. It's just like, do you even like games? Like, there's
I
so
would
many.
probably agree with you. Yeah.
There's so many good AAA, AA, indie. There's something. There's something here. I'm like a car salesman. Slap the top of the hood. You could get in it right now and drive and have fun. You know?
Oh, I did want to briefly mention, since we're kind of on the topic of new games, because we were kind of briefly talking about this on Metrovania Monday last night, and Thwack was in chat. He's like, "Hey, what's your favorite game that came out this year?" I've only played one game that came out this year, so it's automatically my favorite. But I did really enjoy it, and that was Mini Shoot Adventures. This is the only game that's come out this year that I played. I really love that game. So
yeah, currently for me it's Pragmata. Pragmata is my favorite game so far this year.
If that's my number one game that's come out this year that I want to play. So
I'll send it to you then.
Oh, okay. I want to play that. Like, I would really, really want to play.
I love that game. I bought it 3 times because that's how much I believe in it. All right, I already beat it on Xbox. I'll send you the Xbox copy. I got the PlayStation copy. I want to retry it. I even bought it on the Switch, which I traded to my buddy for some retro games. So that's what we did with that one. Because he was like, I don't want to buy it. I'm like, I have the Switch copy, and he's a big Nintendo fanboy, probably right up there with AC. And then I was selling him on the game, and he's like, will he trade for Transformers Devastation on the PS4? I'm like, yeah, that's fine.
All right, yeah, I really want to play Pragmata, and I played the demo and really liked it. So that's the number one game that came out this year that I haven't played yet that I really want to.
Yeah, it's one of those. You know how they say like the third person cover shooters? I called it the third person hack and shooter. It's such a great game. Like, I had 0 expectations for it. Like 0. I saw it. It was announced so long ago. It was in development hell. I think it was announced in 2020. That's how long ago it was announced.
It was a ways back because I remember seeing it when it was first announced. I'm like, I didn't remember the name of it. I'm like, that game looks really cool, and I forgot about it for years. And then when we were doing top 5 at the beginning of the year for games we were anticipating for this year, I stumbled across again. I'm like, oh yeah, that game looks awesome. So that was actually in my top 5 most anticipated games for this year.
Yeah, no, I like I said, really blew me away. Great writing, great combat. Definitely, I had a lot of hard end boss fight for sure. That last boss was like pushing my crap in. That's for sure. But yeah, no, Pragmata was great. Capcom in general just had a great year. Even if you're not a fan of Monster Hunter, like Monster Hunter Stories 3 is probably the best turn-based RPG in that series, and probably one of the best like for newcomers who want to get into a turn-based RPG. It's really well done. It's beautiful, great soundtrack, fluid combat, and just the best in the series. It's hands down. And they still have Onimusha to come, and you know that's going to be great. Can't wait to play that. The demo, a lot of people are kind of it has 1 million downloads. The demo.
Oh, there's a demo available. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's on everything too. So if you have, and it just got announced today that's going to the Switch 2 as well.
Okay.
So
that's another one. I know you're a big fan of Onimusha. You've been trying to get me to play the remaster of the original one. It's still on my wish list. I haven't picked it up yet, but I will at some point.
Just play the retro achievement one. Play the original Xbox one.
Original Xbox doesn't have retro achievement support.
It doesn't? I thought it did.
No, not yet. It's likely it'll happen at some point, but they haven't got an Xbox emulator that's stable enough, from what I hear, for retro achievement.
What else is on the agenda? Stuff that I can talk about.
Sorry, bro.
Man, you threw me off there. Anyways, the Arrow Ballet asked about new God of War game. I have not played any God of War games, so I have no interest in the new one, but I do. That's another franchise that I've never touched. I've always wanted to, just haven't gotten around to it because I never had a PlayStation, but I do want to play them at some point. So, all right. With that, we'll go ahead and move on to our next topic. Let's see here. And I thought this would be a great... actually, that was the next, the one after this. But, all right. So, next topic on the agenda tonight is... I don't remember... I try to give credit to anybody that gives me an idea for a party chat topic, so I didn't write anything down. So I think I just came up with this one on my own, where I was trying to come up with ideas for party chat topics. But It was, what game have you played the most different versions of? So we were talking about earlier about Resident Evil 4, GameCube version, the Wii version, there's the Xbox One version. So that's not my answer, but I have a feeling it might be Brian since he's a big Resident Evil fan. But I was curious from you guys, what game have you played the most versions of? And of the versions that you've played, which one was your favorite? So, Brian, am I correct in that the game you played the most versions of is Resident Evil 4? Or no?
No, Metroid 2.
Metroid 2, okay.
Well, actually, maybe. I don't know. I've never completed the original Metroid 2 though for Game Boy. But I played. I did play the 3DS one,
Samus Returns.
Samus Returns, and then I played AM2R.
I have played
AM2R is the better. AM2R is the better.
Okay,
game.
So I've played the original Game Boy one and AM2R. I have not played the 3DS one. But of the original and AM2R is the better one by far, in my opinion. And I've heard from a lot of people who played all three of them that AM2R is still the best. And I love AM2R. It was great.
Yeah, I like the new designs. I love the color. I love the look. It's got the Zero Mission look. Something I'm sure you'd approve of. The music was fantastic. It's just a shame that this guy Dr. M64 made it so freaking public to the point where
Nintendo got involved.
Stupid assholes like IGN had to broadcast it, over the internet, and then Nintendo got involved, told them to cease and desist, all that. So, but yeah, it was one. I think it was the first Metro game I ever streamed on my channel,
really?
And I really did like.
That's about when we became friends, was because you were streaming that. I think that was the first thing I remember watching on your channel.
Yeah, I forget. I don't know if it was Ryan's channel, Kinnell's channel, or one of the other channels that I got to. I started talking to you in chat, and I think the Metroidvania stuff was the thing that you and I kind of bonded and connected over. That's why we have our relationship that we have now. So, but yeah, the Game Boy Metroid 2 is not a fun thing to play.
I like it. It's far superior to the original NES Metroid.
I don't know the original didn't take up the entire screen.
That's true. The character sprite for Metroid 2 was
like I could still.
large.
I mean, it's tough. The original game is really tough. I mean, I won't deny that. But yeah, I don't like playing games where your character takes up the entire screen. It's just something I don't like.
I actually enjoyed Metroid 2 a lot, and that's actually the second most recent game I got all the retro achievements for was Metroid 2, because I did it on stream a while back, but I didn't get the only achievement I didn't get was for beating it in under like 2.5 or 3 hours. I think my first playthrough was 3.5 hours, and so earlier this year I went back and I did a speed run and I got that last achievement. So, I like
to answer you. Super Mario Land doesn't take up the entire screen.
Because we'll play Super Mario Land. I'm not playing the Mario Land games.
It's a really short game. You could beat it. It's only 12 levels.
Okay.
And the final level is a horizontal scrolling shoot 'em up, basically, kind of like the end of Kid Icarus.
I've not played a Kid Icarus game,
but you know what I mean. It's horizontal scroller.
Okay, that's very odd for a Mario game.
Auto scroll.
Oh, like auto scroll.
Like the screen moves. Okay.
Yeah, I was playing. As I mentioned.
Yeah, you're Mario's in a plane and you're shooting bad guys and you're fighting an alien on in his little Robotnik like crap.
Okay, I thought you were being sarcastic, but this is what actually happens in this last level.
And Super Mario Land.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, I thought you were just making crap up, but
yeah. Totally, I make crap up. But yeah.
Well, it just sounded so far fetched for a Mario game. I thought you were just making something up, but that's the point you're trying to make.
It's a totally different. Like it wasn't. I don't think Miyamoto was involved. It was Gunpei Yokoi. Remember Gunpei Yokoi?
I've heard that.
Carl. Remember Remember we hung out and talked about Gunpei Yokoi.
I've heard
yeah, it
that
was one of the
word.
best
I don't know what
ones,
that
yeah.
is, but I've heard the word.
He was the guy who is credited as the father of the Game Boy.
Oh, that's somebody's name. Okay.
Yeah, and I learned from Carl that Gunpei Yokoi is a staunch anti-communist.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, but it was they basically made the Game Boy, and Super Mario Land was just like a totally new totally new idea, totally new world. You know, totally new princess. You got princess. You rescue Princess Daisy at the end.
Is that where
and
Daisy was
takes place in
introduced?
Sarasa Land. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Daisy was introduced, and then we don't see her again until the live action Super Mario Brothers movie. You know, that magnificent work of art. You
That
know,
masterpiece.
Dino Hatton and that masterpiece. You know, Samantha Mathis plays.
I've not
Princess
actually
Daisy.
seen that movie,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Oh, you
I have
haven't.
not.
Maybe we should do. Maybe you and I should watch
Do a
it.
watch along.
Maybe we should watch it, or you should watch it, and then we talk about it, and you'd be like, nerd, why the fuck did you make me watch this?
that would probably be what I would assume would be the outcome of that. So,
But honestly, the superior game on the Game Boy is 6 Golden Coins, Super Mario Land 2, the introduction of Wario,
okay.
which which was one of the few Mario games I actually did. I think it was the first Mario games I logged in on Carl's Discord. So 2025.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah,
Very
So
nice.
Wario basically, you know, Mario finds out he has a brother named Wario, and Wario steals his castle. Mario has a castle in the center of this world, the Super Mario Land 6 Golden Coins world, and Wario takes it over and locks it up and just corrupts into something evil. And so you have to go and find you have to get the 6 golden coins in each of the 6 respective worlds, and then in order to access the castle, Mario's castle. Yeah, Mario has a castle.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Canadian said Brian needs to get over his fear of playing Metroid 2.
I don't have a fear. There's no fear. It's just preference.
And Ariana Floyd's in chat. What's up, Ariana? Good to see you. Good evening to you. Hope you're doing well today. So, did you have something other than Metroid 2 that you've played a lot of different versions of?
Well, I mean, I played Link's Awakening. I mean, there's the Game Boy, there's the DX, and there was the remake
There's
the remake.
Game Boy, there was original Game Boy Color, and then the Switch remake.
Yeah. Yes, I played that. I played that.
All of them are excellent.
Really enjoyed that. Yep. I'm curious if they're ever going to do something like that. So they made Echoes of Wisdom, and they made it a totally different game than. So I was expecting them to follow that up with like one of the Oracle games.
I just replayed Oracle recently for Oracle of Ages for the first time since I was a kid.
Yeah, I still need to. I still have not replayed it since it came out. So that's, and I never beat the. I've never beaten the. You know when you connect them, when you connect the saves and you get to the final.
You get a passcode after you beat it, and you put it into the other game.
Yeah, I never beat Ganon basically. So
okay,
that's something I still need to. That's something I still kind of need to.
I don't think I did either because I only ever had Oracle of Ages. I never had Oracle of Seasons. So
I think Oracle of Ages is the better game between the two.
I will be playing Oracle of Seasons for the first time sometime in the near future.
Yeah, because Oracle of Ages once again has time travel as a mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So you instead of going 7 years, and going from adult to child, you go into this world. Yeah, you go into the world's distant past, and so you're once again dual worlds, but interesting seeing the differences and all that. And the villainess in that game, Varen, is which is Varan or something, is pretty present and looming in the game, unlike Ages is Onox. So
you mean Seasons is Onox?
what I say? Oh yeah. Sorry, retard mode. I am right now. So yeah, seasons Onox basically. So because he just stays in his castle, and then when you get to him, you fight him and all that. He doesn't have a presence in the game, unlike
Okay.
Varen does.
Yeah, she
Because
possesses a couple different characters.
you fight her more than once. You fight her more than once. So
Yep. So
I think you have to
all
rescue.
right.
I think and it was originally supposed to be 3 games because each game was supposed to correspond to the three different goddesses of Hyrule.
Oh, yeah.
So like Ages was red, so Din
That would have been
was
10.
supposed, and then of course Blue was or sorry,
Ages was
Seasons
blue.
was red, Ages was blue. I'm getting mixed up now.
And
Ages
blue
was
would have
blue.
been Nairu.
Nehru, yeah.
And
So
then
no. So Ferror got the
Ferror,
shaft.
There was no green.
You know, how often did you ever like? I've never really used. Speaking of Ferror, have you ever used Ferror's wind much in Ocarina?
In Ocarina?
Yeah.
Occasionally.
Where you create like a portal, or you create like a portal point, and then you just use it to teleport back to that point. I've never really used them.
I think I've used it 2 or 3 times because for some reason, like, I need something, and I need to leave and come back. But yeah, usually I go into a dungeon, I beat the dungeon, I never need to come back to the dungeon. So once or twice I was like, I need to go get something and then come back. So I use 4 hours win so that I could come back to right where I was without having to go through the whole dungeon. So, but yeah, it's probably the least used of the 3 spiritual magic abilities in Ocarina.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious if they're going to keep. Now that I think of it, I didn't think about this earlier. Maybe they will keep it exactly intact like they did. I think A Link's Awakening was kept intact. Like I don't think they made any changes to it with the Switch version. I don't think, right?
It was a very I've talked to a few people who are not fans of it, but I love the Switch remake or remaster because it's basically with the very slight exceptions. Not that it's built into the game, but they could have had the ability to switch back and forth between old graphics and new graphics because it's basically 1 for 1.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I'm curious if that's going to be the case with Ocarina. So
I think one of the best things about the Switch version is some of the passive abilities are mapped to extra buttons, so you don't have to keep switching. Because on the original Game Boy, you only had A and B, so you had to pause and bring up your menu and switch your equipment all the freaking time. So having more buttons,
I remember that. Yeah,
makes it really nice because one of the things you use a lot is the Pegasus boots. On the Switch version, it's mapped to I think right trigger or right bumper. I don't remember, but it was one of those, so you could always use it and you don't have to constantly switch for it. So
I think I use Rock's Feather more than I use the Pegasus boots personally.
That's another one used a lot. But I don't know if that one got mapped to a button or whether you have to. That was one of the equipable ones, or maybe it's been a while since I played it. You might be able to switch which button you have it equipped to. I don't remember, but having the ability to have more items mapped to buttons simultaneously, so you don't have to pull up the menu to pause the play so much, made it much more. Because Link's Awakening is my favorite 2D Zelda, and in my opinion, the Switch version is even better.
You more than Link to the Past?
Oh, way more. I actually just played Link to the Past on stream for the first time in 20 years, just a month or 2 ago, and I did not like it. I was not.
How'd you not like A Link to the Past?
I played it once many years ago, and then I replayed it just recently on stream for my Wednesday Night Retro Rewind stream, and I did not like it. So, in my opinion, Link's Awakening is a far superior game to Link to the Past.
I don't know if I agree with that. I definitely I don't agree with that.
There were so many things that drove me nuts about Link to the Past.
Like what in particular? Do you remember?
I'd have to go back, like I was talking about with GoldenEye and Pervert. I'd have to go back and make a list.
What did you think? Okay, maybe I can help you. Maybe the 5th temple in the Dark World, the Ice Palace. The fact that you had to backtrack in that one was that one that was kind of annoying.
One of the things that was. I don't remember which one. I have to go back and watch the stream, but there was. I want to say it was the 3rd dungeon in the Dark World.
The Skullwoods. Yeah, Skullwoods was tough. Yeah, that was a tough one too.
I just remember there were a lot of issues I had with it, but one thing that I just remember was just pissing me off was this one dungeon, like every single enemy takes huge chunks of your health away, and no health freaking drops anywhere, and you're constantly dying when you respawn. You don't have full health, and there's nowhere to get any health. So it's like the one dungeon was like way worse than any of the other dungeons. And that would just really put me off. There was a bunch of other stuff, but that was one thing that really
the weird thing about this one was it was a disjointed dungeon. So there were like 3 different I think there was 2 or 3 different entry points, and you had to figure you needed the item, the dungeon's item, in that case the fire rod, in order to access the final entry point where the boss, the dungeon master, is, and all that. So maybe it's that one. Yeah, that remember that boss? That boss was that boss was like a giant bat, and you were stuck in a room that had conveyors moving in all different directions.
Oh, F that boss!
And you had the spikes. You had the spikes moving towards you on those conveyors, and so
boss was
and
garbage.
while that boss was shooting like shooting like 3 3 tri-rings, like one going down and then 2 going at like 60 degrees. So 3 at once. So you had to dodge all this stuff at the same time. It was tough. So I always tried to be quick. I tried to be as quick as I could, store up some magic and use the fire rod to slay it, basically. Or I just use my master sword and try to make it more challenging for myself. Yeah, Link to the Past is definitely my favorite 2D game, but it's really tough to because almost all the 2D games are really good. I mean, Minish Cap, like I was surprised I missed out on that one when it came out, because I played it years later, when like right before right after the DS, like right after 3DS came out. I was playing that. I was collecting advanced games. And I was surprised how good that game was, and I played the hell out of it for like the next week. Like I was playing it like I was playing. Like, I don't know if I completed 100%, but I was close. But it was so good. I mean, I think it was better than Link's Awakening. Personally, that game was better than Link's Awakening.
So I have not played Minish Cap, but it is up there on it's on my backlog, and it's out of the Zelda games that I have not played, which is not many. I've played most of them. That's probably the one I'm looking forward to playing the most.
Yeah, the mechanic in that one is basically you put on a head and you can shrink, basically. Okay, so you do know. Okay.
Yeah, I know about it. I just haven't played it, but yeah, like to each their own. But yeah, while I was playing Link to the Past, I was like, I don't understand how someone could have this be their favorite, because it is it is in my lower tier Zelda games. I did not like it.
Really? I mean, I don't. I think it pretty much set the standard for 2D and 3D. Believe it or not, I think Ocarina owes a lot of its structure to Link to the Past.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not saying it's definitely not a hugely inspirational game for games to come after. It's just I did not like it.
Yeah, and our mutual friend from Japan hates Link's Awakening. He hates
it. I know. He hates Link's Awakening, and he says I have to hard disagree with Neo on the off take. No, it's the correct one, because Link to the Past is I caught myself, is way overrated. Link's Awakening is far superior. But this is why I like the 3DS version of that game. And I never had a 3DS. That's the other one that I haven't played, was Link Between Worlds. I've heard excellent things about that one.
I don't know. I Awakening a Windfish is nowhere near as epically staked as trying to save Princess Zelda before her time draws near and she gets vanished by an evil wizard. I don't know. That's just me, though.
So, and he also says, I hope Ocarina of Time remake does that too. Jumping in and out of the menus just for the Iron Boots is awful. I know that the 3DS version fixed that, and they made it an equipable item. So hopefully they keep that upgrade from the 3DS version. But I haven't played the 3DS version. So, anyways, getting back onto track here, Carl. What about you? What's a game that you've played multiple versions of? Which was your favorite?
It's probably Pokemon Red and Blue. I guess you could say that, because I played Pokemon Green, which was the original Japanese release of it. Then I played Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Yellow, which was like a kind of a remake more in line with the anime. Then there was Fire Red and Leaf Green. And then, of course, there was the more infamous, but also kind of well received Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu as well, which were pseudo sequels to Pokemon Red and Blue.
Okay.
So I guess that and Skyrim would be up there, but that's only because I love Skyrim. It's one of my favorite video games of all time. But if we're talking about originals, the
all the
quasi
versions
remakes,
of Skyrim are pretty much the same, but all the Pokemon versions you mentioned, some of those are quite different from each other.
yeah, they have different sprites, they have different glitches and bugs, and different storylines, more add-on stuff to it, especially because now the recently remastered ports that they did to Switch for Fire Red and Leaf Green also come with the tickets that you couldn't access unless you went to special events or had an e-reader card. So once you beat the Elite Four in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green on the Switch, now you get access to those to get Deoxys and Ho-Oh and Lugia. And they also fixed a bug in the original Fire Red and Leaf Green where if you had, I think it was for Raikou and Entei only, but there was a bug in the game where if they used Roar, you could never catch those Pokemon again. It was like a weird bug in those games. And I think it was specifically only for those two. I don't think it affected Suicune. But yeah, that's probably the original Pokemon games I've played so much. You know, it's just, you know, I could play them almost every year. That's how much it feels like.
And out of all the versions of the original Pokemon, which one is your favorite?
This is also going to be like the chalk pick, but Fire Red and Leaf Green. You know,
Okay.
it's kind of hard. Gen 3 and Gen 4 are kind of like constantly tug of warring with me of like which one is my favorite gen. For people who don't understand, Gen 3 was Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and then Fire Red and Leaf Green. Those are all Gen 3. And then Gen 4 is obviously, as I said before, Platinum, Pearl, and Diamond. And Heart Gold and Soul Silver. So, but yeah, I would say Fire Red and Leaf Green. It's hard to compete. They have so much stuff to it. They do everything right. You can just have access to just more post game content, more Pokemon. It's hard to compete, especially if you have nostalgia glasses on. It's hard to say, the originals were better.
All right. Excellent. Good pick. Yeah, lots of versions of that one to pick from. All right. For myself, I wrote down a couple that I wanted to mention that I played a bunch of different versions of. One is one of my favorite Metroidvanias and probably the closest thing we've gotten to Metroid Prime that's not a Metroid game. That's Journey to the Savage Planet. Although I played the Xbox One version, the Series X version, and the Windows version. They're all the identical games, so that one doesn't really count. But I do freaking love that game, so I just wanted to give that a shout out. But one of the other ones that I played a lot of versions of, and that is Batman Arkham Asylum. So I played the original 360 version. I played the 360 Game of the Year edition. I played the Xbox One Return to Arkham version. And it's been a really long time since I played any of those, so I don't remember which one's my favorite, but the two 360 ones are identical. I was actually the Return to Arkham on the Xbox One version. It wasn't as impressive as I was expecting it to be for being the next console generation newer. But the one that I wanted to talk about the most, because I played a lot of versions of this, and that is, I don't know which one in particular, but talking about Capcom earlier, and my favorite Capcom franchise, Mega Man, the Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3, because I played all three of the originals on Super Nintendo. I played all three of the Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3 on Super Nintendo. I played Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3 on the GameCube Mega Man collection. I played Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3. I mean, I played all the games in that collection as well, but 1, 2, and 3 are my favorite. And then there's the X Legacy collection, which came out in 2018. That had X, because the GameCube one only had X1 through X6. The X Legacy collection had X1 through X8. And so I played Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3 on the X Legacy collection as well. And then I played a bunch of ROM hacks of all of them as well. So I played just recently I played the Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3 Proto editions, where you play through the game but as Proto Man instead. And then I've also played the Mega Man Extreme 1 and 2, which were Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3 combined into 2 separate games that were on the original Game Boy Color. They took it was kind of weird because they like Mega Man Extreme 1 had some bosses from Mega Man X and X2, and then Mega Man Extreme 2 had bosses from Mega Man X1 and X3. It was this weird mishmash, but played those. And then also I played earlier this year, I played the Mega Man Maverick Hunter X, which is a Mega Man X remake on the PSP. And that I actually didn't like Mega Man in that one, but that's the first Mega Man game that is a proper side scroller where you can play as Vile, and I actually really enjoyed playing as Vile, much more so than playing as Mega Man in that game. Although a lot of people say that Mega Man Maverick Hunter X is the best version of Mega Man X, I didn't like it for Mega Man X because there was like this weird delay between like the dashing and jumping, and it screwed up dash jumping as Mega Man when you're trying to dash jump off of walls, and it was really frustrating.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
but playing through as Vile was awesome. I loved playing as Vile.
I played Maverick Hunter X. I don't think I ever got around to playing as Vile. So that
I like Vile way better.
I'll have to definitely Vile or Vava in Japan, whatever his name was. I forgot about those. Yeah, I did. I didn't play X2 and X3 on the Super Nintendo. I've talked about this before. Mega Man, I don't know if you remember, Neo, but Mega Man X was widely available years after it came out. Like, I think it was like there were so many copies at Best Buy in like late '97. So I got a copy. I got a copy of Mega Man X for Christmas. My Christmas in 7th grade. Instead of paying a lot of money for an N64, which my parents couldn't afford, there were so many copies of Mega Man X. So I finally got around to beating Mega Man X at that age. I rented it when it came out, but I played it and beat it as an adolescent. So so X2 and X3 were not available. I couldn't play them. They were never in at the video store. So it was when the GameCube, the X1 through X6 collection, where I finally was able to start. I played X2 and X3.
Oh, so that was your first time playing X2 and X3. Okay.
Yeah, and I to this day I still have not beaten. I still have not beaten the X series. Like I got up to I beat up to X5. I played a little bit of X6 and I hated it.
That's all you need to do. X6.
And I watched my buddy play X7. I don't know how that thing was approved to be a video game.
Exactly. X7 is abomination. X6 is definitely the worst of the 2D. X series. That is plays like a proper 2D Mega Man X game. But there are some ROM hacks that make it a better game that I do plan to play. I haven't played it yet. But yeah, X6 is... when I first played through X6 was on the X Legacy collection in 2018 when that came out. That was my first time playing X6. And I was like, I'd heard everyone hated on X6. It was also my first time playing X7. I was like, I understand the hate for X7. I was like, I don't understand the hate for X6. I just recently replayed X6 last year, I think it was, the GameCube version. And I was like, okay, I understand the hate for X6 now. It's not great. But X4 and 5 are still great games. Just I prefer X1, 2, and 3. But
who did you prefer to play as, 0 or X?
In
0.
Oh, in X4 or 5?
Yeah.
So when I first played, because my first time playing X4 and X5 was the PC versions back in the day. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. First, because maybe X4 is the first time you can play through the entire game as 0. But you have to pick your character at the start, and then you play through the entire rest of the game as that character.
Well, don't you play as in X3 as well? Don't you play as...
That's why I said the first time you can play through them through the whole game. X3, you can switch and play through them, but only for a very short period of time, because as soon as you go through like one of the doors to like a boss fight, he teleports out and you go back to playing as X. So
okay.
X4 is the first time you can play through the whole game as 0. So the first time I played X4, I played through as 0, but it is a much more difficult game because he doesn't have a range attack. He's just the Z-Saber, so it's much more close ranged fighting, and it's way more difficult. X5, you can switch back and forth between X and 0 between every level, so it's a little bit less punishing. But 0 is, we have talked about on Party Chat before, like favorite secondary characters, and 0 is definitely my favorite like secondary character of like any franchise ever.
Oh yeah, but awesome. I mean, when you first encounter it, when you first meet him, you hear that da 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 da.
His theme is awesome.
His theme is freaking badass, I mean, and then he shoot like Vile is like the beginning that you're in the ruined highway, you're fighting his ex, and all of a sudden, Vile in his mech jumps out of the plane,
the airship thing.
Yeah, and you're trying to shoot him, and it's like not affecting him at all. And he uses his little stunner,
he captures you with his like shoulder cannon shot,
and then you're stunned. You're trapped basically. Grabs, he's like, "What, you think you're good enough to defeat me?" And all of a sudden, you hear in the background, you hear Zero's. And then it knocks his arm off. And then you hear the theme. I was like, "That's awesome!" And then he just, he retreats. It was one of the coolest moments, and it was one of the earliest, coolest moments for me in video games. Like that, I'm like, this is cool. So
yes, Zero's awesome.
So every time I play X2, I am like, I have to
get all his parts.
I have to get all of his parts because I've tried fighting Zero in X2, and he is hard.
He is very difficult.
Yes.
So not having to fight him by collecting his parts makes it a little easier because you get to skip that fight.
Exactly.
So
how many times do you have to fight Vi? By the way, if I remember correctly, in X3, you have to fight. If I remember correctly, you have to fight Vi like 2 or 3 times.
If you go to his lair and fight him, and you defeat him correctly, you don't have to fight him again. So you can only fight him once, but if you don't do it right, you can fight him like 2 or 3 times.
Oh, so if you die or something, and then
you have to use the right weapon. And if you don't use the right weapon to get the final hit on him, then he'll retreat. He won't actually be destroyed.
Oh, so you can't. So I can't just do what I can't just be. I just can't let my ego take over and just try to beat him with the X Buster just to satisfy my ego.
Yeah, and the reason why I know that is because when I just played through the Mega Man X3 Proto Edition just a couple weeks ago, I didn't beat him with one of the weapons he's weak to. One of the ones you can use on him is the Ice Shield, and I think the other one that works is the Ray Splasher. And because I used the X Buster to defeat him, he showed up at the end of the game, ruining one of the achievements I was going for. So I have to start a new playthrough in order to get the achievement I was working on. So, but anyways, when you're talking about the availability of it was, so Mega Man X3 is the game that I have in my Super Nintendo right there, because that's my favorite Super Nintendo game. I bought that secondhand from a GameStop back in like 2010 or so, and I got it for like $40, and I was like, and that's the only.
That's it. $40.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
So I was like, I rented this as a kid one time. And I freaking loved it. I never beat it, but I loved it. So I was like, I'll go ahead and buy it. And come to find out, Carl being a collector, when he told me that that one's actually really, really difficult to find. I'm like, I figured the first one would be the hard one to find. Like, no, the first one was printed in mass, so it's easy to find. I actually only got my physical copy of Mega Man X on Super Nintendo just last summer, which I also got for $40. So the only one I still need is Mega Man X2. But fortunately, I have X3 because that's the most expensive one. And it's probably the game in my collection that's probably worth the most.
Do you have the box for X3?
No, it was cartridge only.
Yeah, we looked that up. I remember we were looking that up.
Yeah, I pulled it out, and whoever owned it before me wrote their name on it. So it's Paul K, I think.
Do you have the PlayStation version as well?
Paul K. So thank you. Shout out to Paul K. I have your copy of the Mega Man X3.
Do you have the PlayStation version as well?
No, because I've never owned a PlayStation, but I played the PlayStation version because for some reason they put the PlayStation version in the GameCube collection. I was like, what is this crap? The Super Nintendo version is way better.
Interesting.
The gameplay is exactly the same. The only thing they changed was the sound effects because they had a more advanced sound effect chip on the PlayStation than the Super Nintendo. But in my opinion, the sounds sound way worse than the Super Nintendo version. So I will take the Super Nintendo version over the PlayStation version of Mega Man X3.
Yes, and if you want to learn more about Mega Man, you can watch Neo My Show, where we covered that Mega Man topic.
We did. So, and then the last one I want to mention is also a ROM hack, but of Mega Man X3 Zero Project. And in my opinion, because like I said, Mega Man X3 is my favorite Mega Man game. It's also my favorite Super Nintendo game. Mega Man X3 Zero Project is a ROM hack, and in my opinion, it is the definitive way to play the Mega Man X3. It is the best version. And what it is it's kind of like Mega Man X5, where you can switch back and forth between Mega Man and Zero. But in X5, you can do it between missions. In this one, I think you can do it basically on the fly. So the first time I played it, obviously I played through the whole game as Zero, and it's awesome. But you can play through the whole game as X if you want to as well. And they made some slight tweaks to some really dumb design decisions in the original game. So all that to say, probably the version I played the most is probably Mega Man X1. But I've also played a lot of versions of Mega Man X3, and by far the best one is Mega Man Zero Project. So that if you're going to play any version of X3, that's the version I suggest playing is Zero Project, because it is phenomenal. As for the original Mega Man X1, I think like I said, I wasn't a huge fan of the Mega Man X Maverick Hunter. I think just the original version on Super Nintendo was my favorite of the... Well, I guess the GameCube and the X Legacy Collections are the exact same game. So you take your pick on whichever one is most easily available, because the gameplay is exactly the same. So yeah, take your pick. But yeah, so those are the games I played the most versions of, and which one was my favorite. So yeah, I'll put the link to the stream that Carl was talking about in the description afterwards. So if you want to go check that out, we did a stream a while back all about Mega Man, and that was a fun one. And actually, the very first stream I ever did on my channel was talking about Mega Man with our buddies DJ Axis and Gino RPG. So that was the very first thing I ever did on my channel, was a Mega Man discussion stream. So I love Mega Man.
There you go.
All right, moving on to our next topic. This is the one I was thinking we were about to talk about on the previous one. I was like, you guys are both really into video game music. I know Canadian is as well. So it's like, let's do a video game music theme topic. So it's been no surprise, or it's no secret that until I started my channel, I've never really paid much attention to video game music, and until I met Carl and Nerporial and Angry Canadian, who are like obsessed with video game music. And I've made it a point to pay more attention to it over the last few years since I started my channel. My channel will be turning 3 in just a couple weeks. But now that I've been paying more attention to video game music, and you guys are big on video game music, I thought of this actually just a couple days ago. I was like, this would be a great party chat topic. And since I was having you guys on who are big into music, I was like, oh, this would be a great topic for this party chat. And that is, what is your favorite video game composer? And I didn't actually write this down in the topic, but if you had to pick your favorite game, not necessarily your favorite game that they worked on, but what was your favorite game that they worked on for the music, like of the games that your favorite composer worked on, which one was your favorite music-wise? So I'm assuming this is going to be a very hard question for Nerporial, because he probably has a lot to pick from. It's probably Sophie's Choice would be my guess.
Sophie's Choice.
Like, pick your favorite child.
I grew up on.
Oh, there he is.
All right. I grew up on. Koji Kondo. Obviously, I did not know who Koji Kondo was until, like, once again, I went to here in Chicago. They had something back in 2006. I was still in college at the time. It was called Play a Video Game Symphony in the Rosemont Theater. And Koji Kondo, and it wasn't just him, but like almost every composer was present at this event. I think Marty McDonald was there. Jeremy Soule was there. Nobuo Uematsu of Final Fantasy was there. I think even Yasunori Mitsuda, Chrono Trigger and Xenogears and Chrono Cross was there. Lots of big names. But I grew up on Koji Kondo's music. He did all the early Marios. He did all the early Zeldas. Okay. So like A Link to the soundtrack to A Link to the Past was used to live rent free in my brain. Like whenever I went to school or whenever I was in a distressful situation, it was something that would comfort me. And same with some of the Marios, like Super Mario World was another one that I used to love to listen to. It was just it was almost like only one or two original themes, and then there would be a billion variations of them. And that's how Super Mario World's theme was, and they were all so good. So, um, but yeah, Koji Kondo is obviously the one. If you would have asked me as a kid, he would have been my favorite. And of course, I loved how his final work that he did by himself was Ocarina of Time, and then after that, there were other after that, then he needed help, and so he ended up they ended up bringing other composers in. We're really good as well. I mean, you had some great stuff from, I forget who did the Twilight Princess and the Wind Waker soundtracks, but those were excellent as well. But like a great little swan song for him by himself was Ocarina of Time, and that's when he decided to go all Philip Glass and make it very minimalistic. And I thought it was I liked one thing I loved about Ocarina's soundtrack is it was very different from A Link to the Past. A Link to the Past still had a lot. The themes were still there. The Ocarina was a lot more atmospheric than musical. So it was yeah. So like you're in the Deku tree. I can't really hum out the Deku inside the Deku tree theme. I just remember like the echoey and the echoes and the hollow feeling that I got from playing that. And and there's a little bit of a haunted element there too. Obviously, you have the Skulltulas that are like hanging around, and then they jump down and they attack you and all that. And same with those little Deku sprouts. So, but then as I got older, I really started liking some of the more seriously crafted some of the more seriously crafted, more memorable, orchestrated or almost orchestrated themes, or not even orchestrated, but like epic themes. And then so I really grabbed onto like the RPG. Like part of the reason why I got into JRPGs was not just because of the gameplay, battle systems and all that. It was a lot of it was the music. The music and the stories kept me going. So like I'm playing the Chrono Trigger. I'm playing Chrono Trigger. And I'm loving the music. Like the music is just like it's just capturing my heart almost at every single point. And the same with the Final Fantasies. So I don't know. I'm tied between Yasunori and Nobuo over there. So I mean, but I loved 4's soundtrack. I loved the boss theme. Da 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 da. That one. They had that one. They actually that was the optional boss fight in Super Mario RPG. That's how I first heard it. So hearing that again, hearing the actual version of it, playing Final Fantasy IV was always was what drew me to it. It was what helped keep me playing it. So, and of course in Chrono Trigger, Yasunori, I liked In the Depths of the Night. It's the kind of the melancholic. It's usually when you learn something about the character, like there's like a melancholic struggle with a few of the characters, and you hear that In the Depths of the Night theme. And it's a very emotional one. Like if you listen to it, you might shed a tear, because I know I did when I first heard it.
Yeah, I've never played Chrono Trigger, but I know it is very highly regarded by basically everyone who's ever played it.
Yeah, it's I mean the characters are memorable. Like there's no like the game is not boring. Like when you think you're done with something else pops up, and you're like holy shit, what am I gonna do? And the villains are memorable. One particular villain ends up joining you at some point. They built him up. He has his own little awesome theme. And the whole thing is you're fighting for time and space. Basically, that's how epic it is. It goes beyond just our world. It's time and space. Basically, this extra dimensional entity just wants to consume all. So, yeah. So I love the time travel aspect. You go to different time periods, and things are slightly different, and it's very interesting game. So. But I love the Yasunori Mitsuda soundtrack, and of course Frog's theme Everybody loves
That's
frogs.
when I hear. I
Dun,
wouldn't
dun,
recognize
dun,
it,
dun, dun, dun.
but
Yeah,
everyone says this. That's the one I hear from people who talk about video game music, and Chrono Trigger comes up. That's one that always gets mentioned the most is Frog's theme.
yes,
I think they even played that at the concert we went to, right?
they did. They totally did. It was awesome. Yeah, and of course the one that I got excited for because I'm old. I love the Final Fantasy V Gilgamesh fight, the fight on the Castle Bridge theme they played, and that's just I mean I've used that for a few of my streams that particular theme. So I don't think I can use it anymore because I think Square Enix wants to get that money. Doesn't want people to use their properties, their musical properties. So. Gaming. I gotta say,
All right.
it was great. It was a great time, Carl. It was a great time doing that.
Indeed.
Makes me want to play. I was really impressed by the Octopath themes, and I do own the game, but I still haven't played it. I still haven't played it yet, so it's making me want to play it now.
Great games.
Got good music as well, I assume.
Yeah, a lot of video games have great music. It's just not all the times do you know who those composers are.
Right. All right. Well, Carl, what about you? Do you have a favorite gaming composer and work that they worked on?
I got a couple. I'm going to break it down by kind of nationalities, I guess you could say. My first one is the Jet Set Radio and Bomb Funk Cyber Rush composer, Hideki Naganuma. Like him a lot, obviously. One of my favorite video game soundtracks of all time, if not my favorite, is still Jet Set Radio Future.
Never played it, but I've heard good stuff.
Really great techno, early 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, just vibe, just that early, techno like scene back in the day. Some really good, slow rock songs. Just overall really great. And when he does other songs, he's just got a very high energy, up pace beat to him. The second one I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name because it's French. So it's like Olivier de Verrier. It's kind of how you say it. But he's done the Plague's Tale soundtracks. He's done the Dying Light soundtracks. And he's also recently did the South of Midnight soundtracks. And I really do enjoy South of Midnight. Its audio design a lot. There's no other way to put it beyond that. I think was very underappreciated in terms of sound design and also soundtrack. South of Midnight, even though I think the game had some flaws, I think it was a good first step for a game, and I hope that it gets a second life on Switch and PS5, which I don't think it did. But I hope that Compulsion Games has another bite at that apple because I think there's something good there. So, and also those Plague's Tale games. Yeah, I love them.
Yeah, those are great. Music wise.
Yeah, and the last one I'll bring up, Mick Gordon.
I was going to give him a shout out.
It's kind of hard to say that guy does not make some bomb soundtracks. The Killer Instinct soundtrack alone is amazing. I think it's the best fighting game soundtrack of all time. And,
still haven't listened to it, but I know how much Jason loves the soundtrack for Killer Instinct. I have it on my list of things to do, and it's been sitting there for months. I still need to listen to it.
It's great and awesome. Of course, Doom. Obviously, like Doom 2016 and Doom the Dark Ages. He's also doing
Eternal. I don't think he worked on Dark Ages.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Eternal. Sorry. He also is doing the soundtrack for that new Ill game that's coming out that was showed off at the showcase. Yeah.
Interesting.
So he's still getting work.
What game?
Ill.
What game?
It's called Ill. Yeah.
It was just announced, I think, during the PlayStation.
How do you spell
ILL?
ILL?
It's like a scary first-person shooter. I think it is. I think it was during the PlayStation showcase.
Anything like RE?
A little bit. It's made by the team. All right, hold on a second here. I think it's made by a sub-team or it's being published by the Mudfish Studios, which is the team that made Atomic Heart.
Okay, I was like, that name sounds familiar, Mudfish.
Yeah,
because I've seen their name on Atomic Heart.
Yeah, so they are doing that one with like I said, either they're publishing this for a smaller team or it's a smaller team inside of that studio. But I think it's made in that same engine as Atomic Heart, and it looks wild. It kind of gives me a lot of the Thing vibes with some of the body mutations and stuff like that. And on top of that too, we were joking about it. We were actually talking about this at Nerd Takes Me. He was like, oh, we can't really do too much with zombies and stuff. And I'm like, well, we got zombies with their dongs out in this one, it looks like, because in the trailer it looks like they were censoring their dongs. So we were joking about that. So like, there you go. That's something we haven't seen in video game zombies, I think. Just dong zombies. We've seen vagina monsters, but we've never seen dong zombies.
Nerd Take says Jet Set Radio Future has a great soundtrack, and Birthday Cake is an awesome song.
Extra sugar, extra salt, extra oil, and MSG. Shut up and eat.
And Canadian saying, are you sure it's ill or the Gundam game?
No, it's ill.
Okay.
Oh wait, is it the Gundam game too? It might be the Gundam game. I stand corrected. I will stand corrected because I think you're right.
Those are very different games.
Yes.
It would make more sense for him to be working on a Gundam game than an ill game. Mick Gordon, that is.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm 90% right most of the time.
60% of the time it works every time.
Yeah. Sometimes it just gets jumbled up in there.
So, so there was a couple of composers when I was kind of looking through some of their works to see what, because they're, like I said, I haven't paid a lot of attention to music until recently. So until recently, I wouldn't be able to name probably more than like Marty O'Donnell as a video game composer. But I do know a few more video game composers now, and I was looking through some of the ones that I do know and to see what other games they worked on. And so I pulled up Mick Gordon. He's like me, and not Carl, but Nerporial and I. He's like our age. He's barely older than us. He's a pretty young guy. He's in his like early 40s. So
no kidding.
I didn't know what he looked like. I just hear his name, so I pulled him up, and he's like 42 or something. Like, wow, he's like not that much older than me.
Yeah, he's super young.
Mick Gordon.
What was this again?
Mick, Mick.
Mick,
like the slur for Irish people.
Gordon.
So he's a young guy, and I was like, wow, I expected him to be like, I don't know, like 60 or 70 or something, like given how much I hear his name. But no, he's
only 40. He's only 40. He's younger than me.
Wow, I thought maybe it was one of the other people I looked up was 42, but it was a couple of these people I looked up. I'm like, wow, they're a lot younger than I thought they would be. So,
so he did. He said that. So he did the Wolfenstein games.
Because I was
Killer.
Yeah, Killer Instinct from 2013 or 2014. It was a launch title on Xbox One, whatever year that came out.
He did Prey. I didn't know that. I have
the Prey 2017. I did not know that either. That's on my backlog of games to play at some point.
That game is so boring, man. I've tried so many times. Everyone tells me, it's like, oh, it's a hidden gem. Oh, it's a hidden gem. I'm like, no, there's a reason why I fucking flopped.
So it's not like, it's not even like as good as like Dead Space or anything like that.
It's very different.
I didn't like it. That's just me.
I've heard lots of good things about it. My buddy, my best friend IRL, Razak, he played it recently. He's like, dude, this game was amazing. So I'll play it at some point. I just don't know when. But I was a huge fan of the original Prey, so I would like to get a sequel to that. But that's never going to happen. But yeah, anyways, so for mine, I was going to give a shout out to Mick Gordon because he was one of the first ones I thought of. Marty O'Donnell, because the Halo soundtracks were all fantastic. Another one that I know the name now because I've just, as I talked about earlier in the stream, I just played a couple of his games and soundtracks are phenomenal. And that's Grant Kirkhope. And the games that I was referring to is GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. Excellent soundtracks, and he did a bunch of stuff in that era, like the Rare N64 games.
Every time I hear banjo, every time I hear something that sounds like Banjo Kazooie, I always think of Kirkhope. Yeah. Oh, I forgot Dave Wise. Sorry, Dave Wise.
Dave Wise.
I completely forgot about.
I think I remember seeing that name recently while I was looking for stuff. But yeah,
yeah, Donkey Kong
That's
Country,
why.
Donkey Kong Country 2. I think Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Trying to, what else did he do? I think he did Battletoads.
Combat
Okay.
Amphibians.
Let's see, Dave Wise.
Looking for the games that he worked on.
He did all the Donkey Kong Land games. So let's see, Diddy Kong Racing.
So excellent portfolio.
Ukulele.
That's right. I do remember seeing his name on that when I was doing some research. So, yeah, just played a couple of Grant Kirkhope games that he worked on, and they are excellent soundtracks. So I want to give a shout out to Grant Kirkhope. But the one that I wrote down as my favorite, and I haven't played all of these games, but I played a good chunk of them, and they are phenomenal. And the composer of my number 2 favorite game of all time, my number 1 favorite Metroidvania of all time, is Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and the composer is Gareth Coker. And it's the first composer I ever heard music in another game. I'm like, that sounds like music from Ori, and I looked it up, and it was the same guy. And that was when I was playing Immortals Phoenix Rising. I'm like, this music sounds just like Ori, and I looked it up, same guy. So
how's it better? I'm curious, how is this game better than the first one?
Oh,
than
Blind Forest is a phenomenal game, but Will of the Wisp is even better. And the main reason for that is because the combat in Blind Forest is not great. It's just mash X and be near an enemy and mash X so that your little like fairy sprite thing that follows you around can hit it with like laser beams. Whereas in Blind Forest, you actually have equipable items and you can like combo and you can build your character kind of the way you want to, because you have all these different slots for equipping which ones that suit your play style. And so that's the main thing, is the combat in Will of the Wisp is excellent, and the combat in Blind Forest is very mediocre. But other than that, I mean, both games are phenomenal. The music is excellent. Both games. I said this, I think, just last week, but the Ori games are like the epitome of, in my opinion, are the epitome of video games as a form of art, because everything in those games is just freaking gorgeous. The art style, the gameplay, the music, it's all phenomenal, and which is why Will of the Wisp is my favorite Metroidvania of all time. And the music is excellent. So my pick for favorite composer is Gareth Coker. And some of the other stuff that he's worked on is obviously both Ori games. He's worked on Minecraft. He's worked on Ark Survival Evolved. He worked on Darksiders Genesis, which I did play that one, but I haven't played. The only other Darksiders game I played was the first one. It's very different though. It's like a top-down, like twin stick shooter, hack and slash, kind of like a Diablo-like. And it was enjoyable, but I think Darksiders fans were not a huge fan of it. But I liked it. He also worked on Dota 2, as I mentioned, Immortals Phoenix Rising. He worked on Halo Infinite, Mario and Rabbids, Ark Knights, and another top tier Prince of Persia Lost Crown is a top tier Metroidvania. And after just playing it earlier this year, it moved its way up into my top 5 Metroidvanias of all time. So 2 of my favorite top 5 Metroidvanias of all time, 3 actually, if you count Blind Forest. The music was all done by Gareth Coker. A game, Jason, our co-host, our friend Jason, my co-host on Top 5, is a huge fan of Absalom. I haven't played it, but Jason loves it, and Gareth Coker worked on Absalom. And he also worked on Moon Studios, who did the Ori games. Their next game, which just got a little bit more highlight just this last week, is No Rest for the Wicked. Gareth Coker is also working on the music for that game. So I expect the music to be excellent in that game as well. So
do you think they're going to make another Ori game, or do you think
I would kill for an Ori 3, but I don't think we'll ever get an Ori 3.
Like, do you think like there was anything like that they didn't do that they could implement into a third game?
It's like,
did they ever talk about that?
I've not heard anything, but what could they do to improve on Will of the Wisp to make an even better game? I don't think that's possible, because I think like Will of the Wisp is like video game perfection. So they could do exactly. It's like, if I had to, I would be okay with getting another Ori that was like okay, like But if they were to do another Ori game and it was just going to be bad, I'd be like, no, let's just cut it there and leave it at Ori and Will of the Wisps, and quit while we're ahead. But if they did do another one, I wouldn't say it would have to be better, as long as it's just not, straight up bad. So kind of like, in my opinion, Prime 4 is, I enjoyed my time with it. It was a huge disappointment, but I'm okay that it exists. I don't think it was a disgrace to the franchise. It's just there were a lot of things that I was not a fan of. So
like how linear,
I would still be glad we got another Ori game.
Yeah, like how linear Metroid Prime 4 was.
Yeah, my biggest issue with Metroid Prime 4 is the map design. That's by far and away my biggest complaint.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to hear me talk about that, we did like a 4-hour Metroid Prime 4 discussion stream. If you want to go check out, I had someone ask me a while back, like, "Hey, what were your thoughts on Prime 4?" And I linked them to that stream. They're like, 4.5 hours. I'm like, we got into the details. So if you want to hear the good and the bad about Prime 4, we did a stream on that. That was myself, I think Lowest, Dude, and I think Jay Bongo joined us for that one. That was a fun stream, just talking about everything we liked and didn't like about Prime 4. So, Angry Canadian says that Alon Moore is doing the music for Ale. So
that is true. I made a mistake.
I don't know that name. So, but anyways, that was my pick. But it was kind of tough because Grant Kirkhope, Mick Gordon, and Marty O'Donnell were all up there at the top for me as well. But I had to go with Gareth Coker because some of my favorite games of all time are ones that he worked on the music for. So that is my pick. So any other thoughts on video game composers before we move on to our last topic?
No.
All right. Well, with that, we will move on to our last topic for tonight. And as always, talk about our favorite game from a specific year. And we are almost caught up to current year. So I've got some ideas for other similar type questions to put at the end of each party chat going forward. But tonight we are talking about our favorite games from 2024. So maybe Nerdportal hasn't even played a game from 2024. We'll have to see. So I was going to ask him to go first, but I'll let Carl go first. So we'll continue with the kind of more recent format where we just each give our favorite game from 2024. And then after we each give our own, then we'll talk about other games that we enjoyed. So Carl, if you had to pick one game from 2024, what was your favorite game?
My game of the year for 2024 was Unicorn Overlord.
Okay. I know you've talked about that one a lot. I didn't realize that was 2024. So
yes.
Give us a little bit more information on what that game was.
Basically, it's a tactical RPG with auto chess features. So you basically make little squads of about 5 people, and they kind of do certain attacks onto another enemy unit. And it plays out in more of a real-time strategy thing. So you got to take certain points, defend little castles, build up your squads, revive them if they lose, and heal up and stuff like that. It's fun. It's a little hybrid of, kind of like a Fire Emblem, but a more open real-time RPG as well. It's a tactics. That's the best way to say it. Okay.
I was going to say, I know that what I'm about to say sounds like an oxymoron, but it almost sounds kind of like a turn-based RTS. Is that kind of accurate?
Yeah, it's more of, like I said, your units move in an active combat situation, so they can move around, and you set up paths, and they walk and take those paths, and then when they fight units, it turns into a turn-based RPG, but it's also kind of like an auto chess thing. So like you gotta like have your guys match up, and they attack in certain orders, and there's counters, and some units are stronger against other units, so it's about building the most like accurate troop units that you can and trying to counter and put them up as best as you can.
Okay, cool. So Unicorn Overlord.
Yes.
All right, Brian, you still trying to figure out what your favorite is?
I don't know if I've played any.
All right. I'll give you a few more minutes to see if there are any that you have played.
Well, maybe a different year or something. I don't know.
We do a different year on each episode of Party Chat. So I know you've kind of been a little absent from gaming the last few years. So if you don't have anything, that's all right. But I'll give you another minute to keep looking, see if there's anything that you come across that you played. But for me, my number one game for 2024 is one that I just mentioned on our last topic, is the one that Metroidvania that bumped its way into my top 5 after playing it on stream for Metroidvania Monday, and that is Prince of Persia: Lost Crown. That game is freaking phenomenal, and a lot of people give Ubisoft, because it's published by Ubisoft, a lot of hate over the last couple years because they have made a lot of really stupid decisions, but they put out Prince of Persia: Lost Crown, and it is a phenomenal game, and it didn't sell. And I think the studio ended up getting closed or something along those lines. I don't remember the details, but and there's not going to be another one, unfortunately. But Prince of Persia: Lost Crown is a top tier game. That game is fan-freaking-tastic, and so that was easily my number one game for 2024. So, did you find anything that you played from 2024?
No, I didn't beat anything from 2024. I looked.
No. All right. Well, then that also it makes it easy for the second half of the question. What are some other games that you played from 2024 that you were a fan of? So, therefore, it doesn't sound like there were any. I'll go ahead and I'll give a couple.
Yeah, I didn't play Rebirth yet. I didn't finish Echoes of Wisdom or I don't know what else came out that year. I didn't play I heard the Indiana Jones game's good, so I might play that.
That's in my backlog.
What else? Black Myth Wukong. I
also
own.
My backlog.
I haven't played. I haven't beaten that yet. What else is there? What else do I want to play?
Yeah. What if you had to pick a game from 2024 that you want to play the most? What would that be?
Well, obviously, we're obviously right now Rebirth.
That was gonna be my guess.
Of the investment, so. Yeah, I mean, I've heard mixed things about. Like I said, I've heard mixed things about Rebirth. So, I'll make my own determination when I play it. See how I feel about it.
So, but as for other games that came out in 2024 that I was a big fan of, talked about a little bit earlier, but Hellblade 2 came out in 2024, and that game was great. Really enjoyed it. The thing that sucks is right before, literally either it was like the week before I played it or the week after I think it was right before I played it, because it's been out for a couple of years. They did a title update, and they added a new game mode, which added a new achievement, because before this achievement, the game basically you beat the game and you get all the achievements. And they added this one achievement, which is beat the game in Dark Rot difficulty, which is like stupid hard. So they added this one achievement a couple years after the game came out, so you have to beat it on the super hard difficulty. So it's kind of funny how the timing is like, I finally get around to playing it, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get this completion. And they added this really difficult achievement. I've not attempted Dark Rot difficulty, which is basically beat the game in under 4 deaths. And there's a lot of places you can die in the game instantly. So I've not made my attempt at that yet, but I did beat it on the regular difficulty, and I really enjoyed it. I think I liked the first one a little bit more, and that was mainly because of the combat. In the second one, it's only ever one-on-one combat. In the first one, you can have 2 or 3 or 4v1, and at the end of the game, there's basically like 10v1. So the combat I liked in the first one a little bit better, but I did really enjoy both games. Another one, I actually just before I did Shadow Complex for no, actually I didn't do this one on stream. I was planning on doing it for Metroidvania Monday, but it's leaving Game Pass, so I ended up playing it off stream, and I beat it just very recently, and that was Crypt Custodian. And that was a lot of fun. So I just beat that a few weeks ago. And that is from the developer Kyle Thompson, who does really he does that. He's released 3 Metroidvanias, and he's working on a 4th one. I don't know if it's out yet, but it's called Well Dweller. Looking forward to that one. But I played 2 of his. No, I've now played all 3 of his Metroidvanias. 2 of them I did on stream, and this is the only one that I didn't do on stream. But Crypt Custodian was a lot of fun and a very cute, colorful, isometric Metroidvania. And that was a lot of fun. So I just beat that recently. Another Metroidvania that from 2024 that I really enjoyed was Exophobia. And it's one of the very few first-person shooter Metroidvanias out there. It's if you were to turn original 1992 Doom into a Metroidvania, that's what Exophobia is, except instead of fighting demons, you're fighting aliens. And it's it looks like original Doom with the pixel art and everything. And I think I might stream that as my next Metroidvania Monday game. And then last one I played and was probably my runner-up for favorite game from 2024 was Space Marine 2. That game is freaking awesome. So Shout out to Space Marine 2. So those are the other games from 2024 that I was a big fan of. What about you, Carl? What other games did you love from 2024?
2024 was the year of the JRPG, so there was a lot of great ones that came out there. Persona 3 Reloaded, one of my favorite Persona games of all time. Excellent remake. After that, we had Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door remake as well. Great game. Loved that a lot too. And of course, we had Unicorn Overlord, as I said before, but also another thing you could say that it was the year of Sega as well, because Metaphor ReFantazio also came out that year too, and that is a very, very heavy JRPG and a very unforgiving turn-based RPG as well. They smack you around without even trying in that game, that's for sure.
Did you beat that one?
No, I have not. I think I got distracted with something else because a lot of games came out that year too. Obviously, Astrobot won Game of the Year, so it came out that year as well. Also,
and you were a big fan of Astrobot, right?
I liked it a lot. Zero liked it more than me. I thought it was a little bit overhyped. If it didn't have the nostalgia, how many people would play it? That's my argument.
Okay.
And I know people don't like when you say that because it is a great game, but I also think a lot of people would not care about it if it just, got rid of all the member berries. And I don't think that should be, a controversial take.
That's fair.
And also a game that came out that year too, which won my indie game of the year as well. Slay the Princess came out this year too.
Okay.
One of the best games.
Novels, right?
One of the best visual novels I think I've ever played. Really well written game. And they also made Scarlet Hollow. It finally came out of early access this year, so I would definitely say check that game out too if you haven't. That game's awesome. It's some of the best writing out there in games, and it's on everything pretty much except for Scarlet Hollow. That's still on PC, but it's a great Steam Deck game or a great Switch or just a great sit down and just play experience. One of the best games I played on stream. I beat the whole game. It's only 4 hours to do one run, but you can play it multiple times.
Okay. All right. Is that about all the 2024 games you wanted to mention?
One last one, Space Marine 2.
Yes, that game was excellent. I just played that for the first time earlier this year as well.
Yeah.
And that game was awesome.
One of the best sequels out there. Does everything way better than the original, and very highly polished. Can't wait for the third game as well.
Yep.
And it still has been getting some support, so that's there too.
I played the because literally right before I played Space Marine 2, the Master Crafted edition of the first one was released, like Shadow dropped on the Game Pass. So I played that one. It was okay. I didn't like it as much as I was expecting to, but Space Marine 2 was awesome and did everything the first game did, but better. And you can play it in co-op because the first game has a co-op mode, but it's not co-op campaign. It's more like it's like a horde mode. Whereas Space Marine 2 has the campaign you can play in co-op plus these additional multiplayer modes.
Yeah. Space Marine is one of those good games from the 360 era. It's got jank to it, but it's not like terrible. It's not going to blow your mind, but it's just like, oh yeah, it's good. It's like going to McDonald's. It's a good hamburger. You're going to go there. You get what you expect. It's not like going to a fine, restaurant to get a steak, but it's just like, yeah, it does the job. And Space Marine 2 is just like, well, now it's that McDonald's went out of business, and now it's like a new luxury burger place, and now it's like, oh, okay, this is a massive upgrade in every way.
Yes. So I only played through the campaign once, so I still have a lot to do in Space Marine 2 because there's a bunch of I haven't even touched the actual multiplayer modes. So look forward to getting back to that at some point. And while we're on the topic, quick shout out: the Master Crafted edition of Space Marine 1 leaves Game Pass in a few days. So if you have Game Pass, you want to play it. You got, I think it leaves on the 15th or 16th. So there's still a few more days.
Yeah, definitely go check those games out. Great games.
So, and then you mentioned Persona, and that's one thing there was not Persona 6, because that just got announced, but there was a announcement for Persona 4 something.
It's a remake.
It's a remake. Okay, I was like, what is the deal with this one? So I was just curious what that was about. So a remake of Persona 4.
It's a remake of Persona 4 Golden, to be precise.
Okay, so is that something that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I already pre-ordered my collector's edition.
All right. So
you saw my post. I have like 8 collector's editions.
That was a long post. One thing probably one of my biggest annoyances with Panics is that the text is at the bottom. I wish the text is at the top. So I got to scroll all the way to the bottom, read the text, scroll back up to the top, and then look through it.
Yeah.
So, but all right. With that, we'll go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. So, Nerdporial, thanks for joining us for another episode of Party Chat. So is there anything that you got going on over on your channel that you want to shout out before we call it here?
No, I mean, I haven't really planned any Chillporials this month, so I don't know. I mean, the thing that I'm probably going to do is I'm trying to finish the Wheel of Time series, reading the Wheel of Time series. So
you mean watching it on Amazon? Because
I mean reading the books. No, shut up, dude. Shut up.
You could return the thing. It's like you could just return that right back to me and be like, oh yeah, like you like the Halo show on whatever streaming service that was on. It's like, no, that doesn't exist.
I think that was.
But you love that.
That was Amazon. That was Amazon. I think, wasn't that?
I
They were
think it was
both Amazon. They were both Amazon. Actually, no. Halo was on
Paramount.
Paramount.
That was Paramount.
Yeah, Paramount ruined Star Trek as well, but that's another time. Oh yeah, they made I forgot to bring up the Star Trek game. They announced a Star Trek game.
Oh, that's some Unknown Outpost or something like that.
Yeah, it's basically so they brought back the character Ro Laren, and they're turning her into Ellen Ripley, and so it's like a horror game. So I don't know what to say. I don't know if it's gonna. I guess it's gonna play like Dead Space. I guess. But you know what's funny is I did buy Dead Space. I bought the remake of I bought the remaster of Dead Space. So that's something.
I would call that one a remake.
A remake. All right, so
Yeah.
so that's another game that it was on sale, so I was like, I gotta buy it. So
that's also in my backlog.
So, but yeah. So, but other than that, I mean, I'll think of something for Chillporial. So, eventually, but yeah, I haven't really. Yeah, I don't have anything planned as of now.
All right. Well. The Nerdporial is a great dude, so his link to his channel is in the stream description, as well as I just dropped it in chat. So if you're not following him, go give him a follow, because he's a good dude. So, Carl, what do you got going on?
Tomorrow night, Jay Bongo and me are going to be back doing an episode of Legacy Loading covering the NES.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's what we got going, and other shows as well, gaming recap of the news week and top 5 system sellers this upcoming weekend.
So, all right. Well, good to have you back. Links, same links to his channel are in the stream description, as well as dropped it in chat as well. So I plan to join you for your Gaming Weekly News on Friday. I should be able to make it. But I will be there on Saturday for that top 5 system sellers, so that'll be fun. So, and then as for myself here on my channel, tomorrow will be another Satisfactory where Lois and I are playing some Satisfactory. It could potentially be the last one until late July. We might be able to squeeze one more in, but I can't say for certain. So, but there will be Satisfactory tomorrow, and then tomorrow night I'll be doing another Retro Rewind. And I am going to be doing some Star Fox 64. So that was voted on by people in my Discord. I was going to do it last week, but I wasn't feeling so great last week. So I'll be doing that tomorrow night. And then Dude and I are doing our next episode of Achievement Chasers on Thursday, talking about our achievement hunting over the course of May. And then, yeah, I'll probably be on Carl's channel on Friday for Gaming Weekly News. And then I will for sure be on Saturday for top 5 system sellers, barring any, unforeseen circumstances coming up. And then I'll be back with some more Metroidvania Monday on Monday, and I'll probably be doing Exophobia, the one that I mentioned, which is basically classic Doom as a Metroidvania. So, because I finished Shadow Complex in 2 streams. I was thinking it was going to be longer than that, but it's a pretty short game. So I finished that last night. I didn't get all the achievements, but I did 100% getting all the collectibles in the game on stream and beat it. So, and that game is also in my top 5 Metroidvanias. I freaking love that game. So, but yeah, that'll be it for tonight. So everyone, thanks for hanging out with us for another episode of Party Chat. Hopefully we'll be back in 2 weeks for one more. I can't say definitively, but we'll see. But either way, go give these guys a follow if you haven't. And have a good night, everyone. We will see you all later. And as always, in the meantime, game on.
Peace out.